一人ぼっちの夜が Ok. Hello mọi người, sorry vì delay nhé, mình đã lấy chút nước. Hello mọi người, ai chúc buổi tối vui vẻ, mình là chắc. Hôm nay mình sẽ ngồi mình coi giải Master London. Để, mình chỉnh lại chút cái, ok.
Đồng hồ tinh thông tôi đâu.
Hôm nay không chơi
Mua
Valo,
gift không được
vô
đồng hồ
coi
tinh thông.
cái pick em thôi, chắc thoát. Mình tập trung ngồi coi kia.
Trời cao không có mắt.
Cái cách stream đâu rồi ta? Window Capture YouTube. Chắc không bị bắt đâu nhỉ?
Tôi chỉ cần đồ 5 dòng. Biết update mà cái
Ok, mình liều luôn đi vậy, kệ đi. Chắc không chết đâu, chắc không bị
có cái
demonetize đâu. Tôi người liều. Ok, rồi để mình lấy.
đủ 5 thằng ngu nè.
Nghị coi đừng có buồn với Nghị.
Nhưng mà mấy bạn nào mà chơi man concept đó thì nên sắm bon silver là vừa đi. Cái combo rất hồi sinh.
Yeah, they do seem to like those overtimes on this map, and I'm pretty sure they don't want any of that today. You want to go strong into playoffs.
Mọi người đợi chút xíu nha, sẽ cho mọi người coi bản bon silver promo. Anh bỏ xuống em sớm vậy. Trời ơi, chậm mặt đi. Xin lỗi mọi người, mình hơi công nghệ chút xíu tại cái này nó ra nhiều biết quá.
Thank you very much, Victoria. Here we go. Haven puts
Từ từ con. Từ. Mọi người đợi xíu, sẽ cho mọi người coi cái bon silver hàng promo. Rồi xong. Mọi người đợi xíu để bên trên gaming group check cam lại. Ok. Ấy, switcheroo. Ok. Mọi người có ai muốn mua không?
Rồi, ai mua thì tặng kèm con này luôn nha.
Đúng. Tặng kèm con này luôn. Tặng thêm một cây bon silver nữa. Đây, cây bon silver, đây. Sleeve này lại, sleeve này lại. Để bạn.
Tôi bay nguyên một đường tới giờ tới City.
Bây giờ anh nói boss này thích mà không tin đâu. Đây là hai cây bon silver.
Clears that out. Trying to play off the cam. Be able to get that dart, but Sayonara still scaling forward right here alongside him. Curveball at the ready. The tournament though, Yetajay so very fast with that. Just managed to get traded out, but still a player advantage for Foot as they look to try to maintain that perfection in the pistols. Paranoia down into the corner, not going to be kept to the player at hell, but Zeus will be isolated, blinded up, and eventually going to be taken down as Durka finds himself a third, but Sociable cleans up Yampi, and Durka, he's just out of time. They're trying to play for some kills as he gets himself a 4K. That Sociable will be able to clean it up and secure the pistol win for Foot.
This is quite an interesting round here. Chronicle there.
57.
Vẫn có giá hả? Nhớ có đợt trước tất cả 200, 150 đúng không? 200 đúng không? Cái đợt mà Raven nó hot. Cây Romo cũng nhìn cũng thèm quá ta.
Publicly about how he's very happy to not have to necessarily be stuck in neon jail anymore.
Hello Nguyên.
Maybe that's a sign of things to come. In fact, look at this.
Lúc nào
Nguyên làm dáng với Aura mà.
Lúc nào cũng thấy em than bận mà có live nào cũng thấy em coi. Boro 4. Ở cái này mình để tặng mấy bạn đi anh. Để tặng các bạn nào muốn lấy một con Lonely Boro 4 không? Đúng rồi, Boro Rip bao tặng combo. Set combo gì với bon silver về anh? Để rune em. Lấy cái bon silver, lấy cái on fort để rune rồi đánh thôi. Nhưng mà bây giờ combo nó còn chưa mạnh lắm.
Have another hot start.
Always.
They can keep it up.
Đúng không?
Đúng rồi.
Graphic's not gonna be reading this.
Đây.
Gives it a consideration. Right click would have had it, but it's a wag of the finger there from South telling them,
Đây, cái này cũng ngon
not
nè.
gonna get taken down, not by you, and
Đây.
it's a flawless way
Bị
for
Lobret từng một thời làm mưa làm gió chung với lại Imperial Decree, Victor.
Really, really nice.
Tôi nhớ mỗi lần mà tôi đánh ở bên Sài Gòn TCG, mỗi lần mà đánh là thấy ai quýnh combo này là đều được nghe khen hết.
Off kilter buy. Coming into their eco.
Không có một con Victor nào.
Ai dám đánh nữa, vô ăn hành hay gì.
Lạ chưa? Nhưng mà ý là ít ra phải có một người nào đó chơi.
Thì đâu có khác gì cái thời mà cả làng cái nước Raven đâu. Không, Raven thì là Victor.
That's fair.
Granted, I mean, of course,
Em xin Bolo xa lắm. Ok.
instrumental in getting the win.
Bạn nào xin đó?
Thịnh Phạm.
For this.
Thịnh Phạm. Ok, Thịnh Phạm chào luôn nha, mình inbox điều kính nha.
Akaship.
Ôi, Akaship cũng ngon. 3 đô.
Drop card out, not gonna be connecting with anything. Recon's gonna be cleared.
Đúng không?
Over top of the box, but there's that refract having to be taken, but
Tại vì mình mở bao bóc lần, bây giờ mình nên mở tốc độ với mấy bạn, chứ bây giờ mà mở chậm quá mọi người content người ta đang muốn coi hit nhiều, em cứ mở bình thường đúng không các bạn?
The volley in response here from Foot is looking insurmountable.
Ui, trời ơi.
Sociable right where he needs to be. Intercepts Yampi on that reclear to P and Foot convert the bonus.
Just winning a
Mình sắp hết hộp một đầu tiên nha mọi người.
makes Durka's angle so
Bữa
much
đó
more difficult to lock down.
thắng bữa đó luôn mà.
Sociable already able to be pushed up. Gets the kill.
Ở đây nếu mà trong những người mình biết á, mà về may mắn về mở bóc nhất thì chắc chỉ có bạn Vũ Khôi Nguyên thôi.
And even though I think there's some awareness that C is going
Vô
to
địch
be
vụ bỏ bóc.
where Foot wants to go in the minds of Vitality. I'm not able to do much about it. Do have Durka's ult here.
Battlefield Phôi,
Blades position.
Hả?
anh ta
Đó.
Ít nằm ở con này hết rồi. Bóc ngon quá.
Rồi mà bích cũng phết đi, có luôn.
Anybody going for that instant P
Rồi, ok.
nhưng mà có ra
will be avoided. So Vitality for now.
Arai hả? Arai giờ như lên nhiều rồi.
Onto a lot of the utility here early.
20 đô rồi. Trời ơi, chúc mừng mấy bạn bữa mở được Arai mà mua được Arai với giá 12, 13 đô nha.
Over at A.
Maybe anticipating that Vitality would just play this the same way as they did the eco, or rather their eco round. Trying to walk at them, but
mua luôn 2 lá.
hanging back, wanting to try to set the trap, but at the moment looks like Foot not really going to be falling into this one. Go forward into mid, just that singular trip set up.
Really there for Chronicle.
On.
Just no further contact along it.
Quá ngon. Chúng ta sắp tiến qua.
We're gonna have it.
Anh Soraka này mua 4
Cái nạc bay.
Ok.
Chronicle relaying all of this noise over to
Ôi
the rest of his
dồi ôi.
teammates to try to see if they can find some impact. A thrifty here would be a
Chơi
massive
tôi
swing
chơi
round
quá
for them.
kỹ với luôn. Đặt 2 quả trap vẫn đứng City mà.
Ê, bữa không thấy
Kỹ
Renga,
với
biết
luôn.
mang Renga định chơi.
Cái đi rồi. Anh tôi
Bữa
kỹ
hả,
với
mình mà
luôn.
biết không ai chơi Renga, mình mang Renga để phục vụ các bạn.
Here by Foot, all angles covered, just
Bớt đâu với Vitality. Địt mẹ anh Du tôi chơi. Anh Yen tôi chơi. Địt mẹ kêu đặt 2 quả trap. Một quả bên C, một quả bên A. Mẹ đứng City canh.
Bữa em chỉ có 1-2
Siêu
người
kỹ
à.
luôn.
mới nói lên gà có gà luôn.
Hình như em thấy nay trong cái bài đời của anh hai chắc phải 6-7 lá này. Flashback Magic.
Still really well dialed up by Foot, controlling that garage space so effectively, not allowing Foot to break out.
End of turn.
The cause to really make sure they can't
Nếu
explode out there.
tính ra bạn nào thiết kế cái tính năng của cái card này đúng là Chí luôn á. Đúng không Chí?
Rồi run nữa nè. Run nữa nè. Đây. Đây. Đây là những hit mình mở được từ hộp đầu tiên.
Được cơ. Úp. Một mạng. Úp lần 2.
Lộc qua em lựa bóc này hơi là những hit đầu tiên.
Ui, đấy.
Nhiều. Nè, 1 nè, 2 nè, 3
4.
Hộp 5 vàng
4,
chơi gì nữa.
5.
Không chịu mua.
Vậy mua đấy, vậy mua anh chị.
Ủa, Raven nhiêu tiền ta?
100 đô. 57 đô.
57 đâu kia rồi.
60.
Được thắng này
Ừ.
Hộp 5 vàng muốn gì nữa.
Thấy không cũng là cái hộp em chọn. Rồi mình xong hộp đầu tiên rồi, bây giờ mình chuẩn bị qua hộp thứ hai. Các bạn các bạn comment số mấy vậy? Số 6 là cái hộp này.
Con Neon còn dù bị nớp
nhưng mà đợi xíu nha, để dọn cái dàn cạc đó.
Đúng rồi, mấy con khác
chỗ.
phối hơn.
Mấy cái rule bỏ ra riêng, để thứ tư làm event luôn. Để mỗi lần làm event lấy cái rule đó bỏ vô đây nè. Anh ra bẻ một đống bỏ ra cho mấy bạn qua chơi có rule. Nhưng mà đánh riêng kit này kia thiếu sao? Mọi người đợi xíu nha. Giờ bỏ sao? Giờ bỏ sao anh?
Đó là cái điểm thật sự rất là vô, thay vì nớp thì hãy
quay lại đi chứ.
sẽ ngon hơn. Zombie.
Mà đã bà sẽ làm gì?
Ôi zombie ơi. Vứt cái đầu.
Rồi ngồi tiếp. Dạ anh nửa hộp. Ở đây nửa hộp. Giống như nãy đi. 6 ok Danny.
Rồi vô đi anh em.
Ủa Danny là bữa nó quýnh con Liệp Lăng đúng không? Liệp Lăng hút. Anh nhớ em rồi. Anh nhớ em rồi. Anh cũng quýnh Liệp Lăng ở Danny nhưng mà không có bét hút. Tại vì không có tiền mua. Hả? Bán rồi. Rồi bất giỡn á, đáng để. Rồi, mình bắt đầu hộp thứ hai nha mọi người. Sorry, anh sẽ mở hơi nhanh để mình tới phần hit. Tại vì mấy cái này mọi người chắc quen quá mấy cạc này rồi. Rồi chúng ta đi kiếm signature thôi. Đấy GA nữa nè.
Rồi để thầy đi.
Exactly what you needed to bounce back from a rough round previously. Like you mentioned, at least for vitality.
Rồi ngày mai cho anh hỏi có bạn nào lên Sài Gòn VCT quýnh giải hẹn tuần không ạ? Được thì mình giao lưu anh mới build xong một con Rengar dễ thương lắm.
Rồi phôi. Phôi. Last Ride hay quá, nãy thấy bạn nào đăng trong group mua Last Ride rồi.
Last Ride nè, có bạn nào muốn mua Last Ride không? Last Ride rồi, hit đầu tiên của box. Last Ride. Anh hai đủ giờ? Không thì để share cho mấy. Em em này hỏi cái Last Ride cái khoản này không em?
Em đưa DNA.
Hay là em hỏi là ngày mai em lên Sài Gòn VCT chơi vậy?
Kẹt dễ vô con cho.
Đó, chúng ta đã có hit đầu tiên. Ở dù nhiều khi boss này ngon nè, mới vô hộp đầu là có Last Ride. Anh nhớ hồi xưa cái Last Ride có 10 đô à?
Do cái meta hiện tại là
hồi xưa có 10 đô à?
Là học 4.000 đồng mà lại do trên thế giới đang đánh.
Hồi xưa mấy cái mà mắc bây giờ rẻ lại.
Đột biến. Cô Ira đánh nhiều nhưng mà do nó là set cũ nên có đội dòng nó ổn kiểu
lại nhanh đến khúc mình mở ba lá cuối nha. Rồi mọi người, để đỡ tốn thời gian của mọi người thì anh sẽ mở nhanh cái khúc hit nha. 30 đô ngon mà. Mấy cái này em nghĩ nó cứ để mốt cho các bạn. Oh shot. Lên Sài Gòn VCT. Ok em, ngày mai nếu được thì mình giao luôn. Aurora quá mạnh. Chưa ra cái bàn rồi đúng không? Aurora đúng rồi, Aurora mạnh lắm. Nãy em mới quýnh Aurora năng hành.
Still, reinforcements arrived. At the beginning of the round, Sayonara was playing pretty far back, looking for that early contact to see maybe thinking.
Feroz.
Okay.
So,
có Asan có em có bạn nào mua gì cứ inbox. Đúng rồi. Ira Firin có lấy nha anh. Có gì em
ui ôi
đây Nghị ơi em còn có đó không nè, combo Infinity của em nè.
Có Ira Faven em lấy nha. Ok
để con Feroz giờ mới coi là anh chăm mua là con Feroz á. Ủa
phiên bản gì bạn ơi?
Ira Fiven con Ira bình thường á. Bình thường hay là Ok, anh sẽ ráng mở ra IDR ra. Ok. Asan có nha em, Asan em muốn mấy lá. Nãy mở thì có Asan đúng không?
Bạn kiếm IRA cho mình inbox bay nha. Cho mình
Ủa?
cụ thể.
Cái bóc gì mà 3 cái Battlefield?
Nhưng mà có phôi không? Phôi mà. Phôi kìa.
Phôi nè.
Ý là ít bao giờ mà thấy một cái bóc mà 3 Battlefield lắm. Để coi cái này là hit rồi. Nè đây Asan đây, bạn nào muốn cần Asan có luôn nè.
Asan Amin còn
Đây Asan. Nãy giờ mình mở 2 con Asan rồi. Rồi liên hệ với Boro Ripbound để mua Asan nha bạn. Mọi người nên mua Asan nha. Tại vì cam nó có.
Quá 16 rồi. Hàng phớt hủy diệt hoàn toàn fatality luôn.
Có
bản thường đang có sẵn bán luôn cũng được.
Có kìa, có cả. Ok inbox đi rồi Ripbound Boro sẽ trả lời.
Em
Có bạn nào chơi Rumble phải mua con reo này nha.
sao có cách nào em inbox lại các bạn đó không?
Đúng rồi. Chuyên nghiệp không có tùy vào setup của
Mấy bạn cứ inbox xong rồi
Em kiếm à. Ok Thanh Minh. Kiếm 3 Asan dư cho em luôn. Anh có nãy giờ mở đã là 2 Asan rồi.
Và vẫn là fatality và vẫn là first 4 round thì mới bạn ơi. Đúng rồi thua.
Đây below red. Đây rồi. Bạn nào muốn below red có luôn nha. Cái đó bán được á. Below red anh thấy ai cũng mua. Không có định nó đa dụng. Nãy giờ mình...
anh có comment mấy bạn rồi, anh có reply cho mấy bạn.
Nãy giờ mình chưa ra một hit nào mà cái last try à. Từ từ.
Không muốn cái vàng nào, có một vàng.
Cái là gì?
Bot. Xí biết. Ủa đi cap.
Ngủ phù thủy.
Hay quá. Hay thầy ơi. Thầy đâu ngủ phù thủy luôn. Rồi, cái gì chụp mũ anh em hả?
Unique. You spell BT deal 3 bonus damn. Có thể là ai đeo được ta? Mũ phù thủy chưa có con nào đúng không?
Có.
Ý là con nào?
Đúng rồi bạn.
Nhưng mà on xài phù thủy đâu mạnh đâu thôi, on xài cái vương miện với cái scroll chứ.
Cái cầm cái
Vương miện chứ.
cầm cái gì đó quên mất tiêu rồi. Cái mũ phù thủy này đi với lại cái áo choàng lửa là nó đốt dâm đam. Ngon. Super.
Thêm cây kiếm dài.
Ủa nếu mà mùa 2 bóc hit là gì ta? Anh quên rồi Mon. Ari đúng không? Ok. Ari signature.
Con Ari Spirit con Ari Harley lục địa. Play đen. Ôi cái cờ lê.
Anh hai đủ cờ lê chưa?
Tập này Kip chơi mũ rồi.
Cờ lê. Nhưng mà Rumble vẫn sắp tới, mình nghĩ là sẽ có một giải Rumble top 4 với các bạn.
Giải Việt Nam
Ôi
Nói zombie không được bắn luôn mà.
Top 8 chưa thấy Rumble.
Để round nào bước đầu.
Tại mấy bạn không chơi thôi, mấy bạn chơi.
Cái round thắng được bước đầu.
Bên đây cáp.
Cái đi ra.
Hả? Rumble đúng không? Decat hả?
Rumble
wow.
Legendary đúng không?
Phải
sức mạnh phải cỡ đó này.
Tại nó hay mà.
Hay.
Minh
bữa bạn
zombie tắm nào chết hết tắm nào.
Gì vậy? Ôi.
Đây hit.
Thầy súng bóng thiết bị rồi không? Gì đây?
Rất
sai. Ok.
Cũng đi.
Cũng đi.
Rất sai lên giá mà, rất sai đang top 3 rồi.
Cũng nhiều người xài.
Về đất đỏ nào cũng xài đúng không? Ngon.
Nhưng mà em
đỏ mà đúng không?
chỉ có thắc mắc là tại sao Renga nó không xài red xài đỏ.
Zombie ra game nào cũng chết.
Xài được mà.
rau nào cũng chết luôn á,
Đúng
ra
có.
mất đầu. Ngay cả cái rau mà tụi nó rau học Fatality thắng, zombie vẫn mất đầu.
Cũng đúng.
Đầu đại khổ vậy.
Cũng đúng.
Mà nó đánh thẳng lên bắt đầu tiêu rồi thì cần tay.
Hiệu ứng flash.
Nó xài mấy con nhỏ nhỏ như là có 1 có 2 nó số cho con rồi.
Jumbo mà có cửa thì Kaisa không xin top 4 trước. À, Kaisa mạnh mà Thịnh. Kaisa. Ok. Jumbo top 4 vậy. Con để làm champion đánh chính đúng không? Okay. Nhưng mà mình thấy đây có con Fiora nha, mọi người nên mua con Fiora Watery đó nha. Mình nghĩ sắp tới là mấy deck vàng là cần á. Như vừa rồi là lớp combo VCT phải có nó đúng không?
Bắt buộc.
Sắp tới làm cái chết quá.
Gì má.
Chơi game gì chơi mình không mà.
Chơi
em có là kêu nè mày muốn cho chết coi đi tao đi ra ngoài.
Dậy. Anh mua giày luôn.
Chết ngồi chưa hiểu mà.
Mua thêm không? Thêm không? Nhiều lắm.
Có 2 con rồi, xíu một con. Ơi. Mình đi được nửa bóc rồi nha mọi người. Đang muốn mở một cái gì đó hit cho mọi người coi. Cho tụi
Mỗi boss là mình phải làm một ngày chắc mình
hay quá. Bánh xe xoay vòng hay quá.
áp lực quá mà. Nãy ai đòi boss số 6 vậy hả?
Wheel rồi quá last xong quá ngon
rồi. Bánh xe xoay vòng.
Ơi mới có mỗi cái 2 vàng mà.
Last này có phiên bản promo đó, anh em thích thì mình bán. Mình cũng nhiều lá này lắm promo.
Bây giờ quan trọng là phải có ai sử dụng á. Kaisa mà thổi nơi.
Ê, hình như cái cuối hit cái gì kìa kết. Em lộ cái này sáng rồi kìa.
Mùa này hit nè,
hit
đủ sáng chưa?
Ra bình sáng rồi. Đó, thêm tao hộp kiếm đó.
Đây nè được một cái rùi.
Hit kiếm vàng.
Em lấy luôn cái này.
Cái gì thầy lấy dữ vậy?
Không biết.
Thầy hợp thể ai hả?
Không biết tam hợp nhà mất hết chưa. Không, tam hợp không bán. Tam hợp mua được có 2 cây sao bán. Mà như anh mua cái tam hợp mắc lắm.
Đâu, bữa thầy bán á, mà thầy bán thầy không nhớ không à.
Bán không phải cái gì, bán 2 cái đồng hồ cát.
Không, tay đồng hồ cát kích bán cho anh.
Thì đó xong rồi hỏi là.
Ấy. Đây.
Lạc đà
Thôi
Thôi nè. Luôn lại. Giữ đi. Lạc đà sẽ là co của body đó. Thình Kaisa mùa này khổ đúng rồi em. Giống như bây giờ em đánh với Master Yi đi, nó quăng 2 con lạc đà lên thì em làm gì đúng không?
Đúng rồi.
Anh có thằng em mà cũng thích quýnh Kaisa lắm ở đâu rồi. Anh có thằng em là best Kaisa.
Best Kaisa khu vực
Tasmania.
Úc Châu.
Ấy hit.
Best Kaisa khu vực Úc Châu. Đó, hit kìa.
Nè không? Hit nè.
Bersuit. Một thời của em Mon đó đừng có đồ.
Sao này?
Em phải respect đồ mới Lucian đi.
Em không có kêu cái đó nha. Em chỉ kêu 3 lá là đủ nha.
Relentless Pursuit có thể trade được. Anh em thích thì cứ mua nha. Đây mình có này. Đó rồi. Sáng quá luôn.
Rip bao mình có gì mũ phù thủy.
Ở đây có ai men Lucian không?
Kìa. Mon nó phải đâu.
Rồi cho mọi người coi đây là những cái hit của cái hộp này nha. Mà mọi người comment cái hộp số kế tiếp đi.
Hộp cuối cùng.
Đúng. Đấy.
Gì đây? Fiora hả? 2 run sao lắm.
Rồi xong bắt 2 cái run.
Mua luôn rồi, mua gì nó không kịp luôn. Buồn ghê.
Ê, tính ra cái bull ray của cái mùa 2 nó còn nhiều vàng hơn là cái mùa,
không sao,
mùa 3 đúng không?
Cái kẹt này bán được. Lá là ai cũng sẽ chơi thôi. Ai rồi cũng sẽ xanh lá.
Ủa cây Sunken Temple mới phải phôi không anh? Hình như phôi với em.
Sunken Temple hả?
Phải không? Em từng Sunken Temple phôi hả? Có luôn.
Anh bóc bay đi em.
Em có inbox đi. Tụi anh phục vụ tới nơi tới chốn luôn. Em cần cái gì cứ nhắn.
Battlefield là bao em luôn.
Nhiều quá.
Nhiều quá đi nên em cứ inbox đi.
Rồi, áo chàng bóng tối luôn.
Đây áo chàng này bạn nào chơi có men gì ta?
Combo học này.
ID.
Vex.
Tiana
nè. Tiana này hay nè.
Rồi, anh mua luôn.
Anh mua luôn hả?
Đây xin contempo phôi.
Đây.
Mua thì bán luôn.
Có luôn.
Có sẵn luôn.
Số 4. Xong rồi mình sẽ mở hộp số 4 nha mọi người. Ok mọi người.
Inbox bay nha, nãy bạn nào hỏi á.
Ai muốn mua xin contempo thì inbox nha.
20.
Đây. Nếu ai lọc.
Em tìm runner phôi.
Runner phôi là anh đã giữ rồi.
Xin lỗi em.
Có người lấy em ơi.
Có...
Nhưng mà em cứ inbox bay lấy slot nha. Khi nào có bọn anh chủ động inbox lại. Có.
Trước 2028.
Cái gì á? Chó phôi.
Sao cái hộp này?
Nè, chó phôi.
Sao hộp này
Để bữa sau kiếm
đầu ra hit liền.
chơi Ivan hỏi bạn chơi 4 vàng.
Thì giờ hy vọng ra cái nào.
Cho phôi mình nhiều lắm.
Không bây giờ ra ở đi ha. Ở đi. Ok, ở
đi phiên đen không
Ta không biết của mùa 1.
đi phiên đen ok.
phiên đen cũng $20.
Đây nè, bỏ vô bài đời đi, hồi quên á, vừa đủ luôn. Mùa này có Tiger biết không anh? Có em. Có chứ. Tiger biết là cái đẻ ra 2 cái rule đó.
Anh biết mùa 1.
Phải không?
Hộp này kit mở là bạn nào kiếm cái gì, bất cứ cái gì cứ inbox fanpage tối nay về mình kết
rule nào mà không phôi.
rule mồi gần phôi, ni phôi.
Không phôi cho xin con này.
Rồi, áo giáp
để nhét vô deck kia.
Áo giáp phôi rồi.
Tại sao tao biết có 2 tao có.
Anh nghĩ là mình cũng giống mình có
thầy
nhiều anh em có tâm lý chung là mở ra 2 cái này là luôn chịu cái bắt này ngu nè. Luôn 2 con legend kế bên nhau.
2 con legend kế bên rồi. Ở bên đây không và được lo.
Ok.
Kiếm gì?
Không, ta coi mùa 1. Thứ tư sẽ có giải gọi là V-Rip, ok. Sự kiện V-Rip.
They need a miracle if they want to make this a 2-0 out there.
And they need this pistol. It just has to be theirs. There's no other way to kind of cut that. So let's see if they can finally get one. They haven't been able to find one yet. And meanwhile, it's all smiles there. Lad has to be feeling great. The game plan, the execution, very, very solid. Some nice plays individually to swing some rounds back to their favor when Vitality was able to find some advantages.
Những cái này có thể inbox Boro Rebound nha. Last Ride có ai lấy không nè?
Kind of start to the series where they lose close map 1, win a close map 2. As it was in the upper finals, so trying to change their destiny in that final map and that final fracture. Let's see if they can get
hộp thứ 3.
Or Vitality.
4 đúng không?
Make a miracle happen.
Đúng không? 3, 4 hộp bên này.
Ok. Ghost, Bandit for Yampi.
Hy vọng sẽ mở rồi hit.
Nghỉ ngơi xíu đi.
Okay.
Với lại cho mọi người những cái mà anh Biên có thể trade được để cho anh em có gì thì em bên
Boro Rebound.
đầu tiên là đỏ thì Queen Hit, Thunderstorm nè.
Ôi smút lỗi. Ôi smút lỗi.
Full star nên mua mọi người bây giờ giá rẻ. Tại vì mình
Rồi. Riot. Rồi mấy cái lá vân vân là Reptile, Polar Bear, Breaker, Traver, Van thì mấy cái này là cái súng nè.
lên gà nè mọi người. Amen lên gà.
Gonna be rewarded with kills. Chronicle's participation not required. Vitality find the critical pistol win.
Okay.
Rồi bên này là xanh lá,
Well
Stronger với lại White Flame Protector.
Xong ok em cứ inbox.
Harry. Con này để đánh với Di nè, một số Di thì có xài
bán
này.
em 2 con.
Bán hả?
Everybody just setting up those crossfires, holding the line.
Để qua đó mới tí.
Nicely done at the point of attack by Prophet.
Rồi là còn một con Tasty Fairfox nha.
Nhét vô cái deck gì luôn. bỏ kia
That is incredible.
Đồng hồ cát số lượng có hạn.
Oh, I love Yapi. What a character.
ba lái mà bị kit nó phá thoáng mất
That's
hai
so
rồi.
good.
đúng.
Sona.
Remember yesterday?
Sona.
Rồi Sona đi team.
Bởi vì đã có đồng hồ
Quang.
cần chia.
So she moved that up the rim.
Rồi, Golden Angel bán giá discount.
Wow. Storm forward, Yapi just swooping in. We'll get the shutdown onto Zeus. Meanwhile, Crystalli is completely contained by this
Em
triple.
mua em bán lại hả?
Đúng rồi.
There's that out though. Keep some attention tied on his side.
Đây, hot.
Then on Yedich's.
Đây, em nghĩ là mấy bạn đang quan tâm cái này nè, rất là nhiều bạn đang kiếm cáo. Đây.
Nói chung là mấy con này là bây giờ có 4 con rồi, cho nên là mấy cái này là bên dư.
Getting it right back. Just gonna be hunting for
Đây, check power.
this round.
Wow.
Check out the wraps.
Con bữa có cô qua
Rồi,
chơi
Echo.
Simo
Get
á.
up to 4.
Echo cho Infinity Lux. Rồi, nó không
Kính
window.
này đánh Timo á.
Outrageous from Yet.
Đây.
Rồi, Battle Spread.
Crazy double kill for him.
Battle Spread.
Just
Ai
bananas.
cần
Now
thì
you're
qua
gonna
cứ
Guardian.
bỏ
You
khoảng
got a
90
real
lá
shout
vô
here
trong
as
deck của mình, đó
Crystalli.
là thằng nào ra là em cứ đập nó.
Đây, Asan nè.
Rồi,
Sabotage nè.
Broken.
Death Room, Predator, Sabotage, Misfortune, Bone Silver,
Send to the recon. Check towards backside.
Axan.
No attention being paid to Long though. He's expecting
Volibear,
somebody being
Anivia, mấy
planted
này.
in deep
Con này
behind that
từng
trip.
hot lắm nha.
Kiana.
Kia
No one
nè.
to be found. So
Yeah.
Vitality
Ra
will
đồng
be able to
xạ.
clean it up. 2 players surviving, but it's still
Ah,
some
rồi,
significant
Wick,
damage found.
Enter ready.
Yeah, it looks
Đây,
pretty
Fist,
early,
Fist
but
đây,
My
đây,
Stitter.
đây, My Stitter, Fist đây.
Fist,
there's two
Fist
players
6
flanking
con.
here on this backside, so even
Nocturne.
though Durka aware of it,
Dowell,
he's shut down so quickly.
Misfortune ha.
Yeah, Yet a chance.
Titan,
Titaner,
No, you gotta feel great about how that round went.
Still going to be a lot of
Rasa.
firepower though.
kéo qua bên
Into
này.
this Vitality
mấy bữa bán.
rifles
Bán
and
không?
everyone's
Timo.
gamers
Bán
abound
lẻ.
though.
I mean,
Timo.
All to be seen.
they
Kenny
know how
Cockmore.
important this bonus is.
Rồi, Vex, Vex Team, nhưng mà Vex
So early,
Team
he
của
doesn't
mùa
wanna stick
2.
around, doesn't wanna try to take the
À,
fight.
rồi anh em nào
He's
cần
here
thì
for quick.
liên hệ với bên
As aggressive
Poro
as we saw
Ripbound.
with Vitality.
Rồi, Kathus,
Overstayed
Ai
their
chơi lập
welcome
lăng
a
lên
few
có.
times.
Lợp Lan mà nó hot lên tới nữa thì cái này mới ngon ha.
Misread here though.
Rồi, Divide
No, you did
Judgment.
so much damage, so you should be able
Lại
to find
Fear
out
of Man.
how it's gonna be sociable fighting too.
Rồi, con
There are
rồng.
the garage doors.
Combo
Rồi,
bắt thuốc.
Shots up Sayonara.
rồi, set.
Cage out of the pocket.
Không hết, rồi, Sen. Ok, Sen. Rồi, xin chào.
Join in alongside
Fist
his
anh để bao
Phoenix.
nhiêu? Fist để bao nhiêu anh hai?
Already rotating
Ờ,
around, getting
em với
himself
inbox,
in position
Rip Power
to
đi.
swiftly shut this down.
Inbox thì bạn nào
Tough
kiếm
spot
bất
to be
cứ
in
cái
here
gì
for
cứ
Sayonara.
inbox
He has
tối
no
nay mình
idea
trả lời với bây giờ
how close they could be.
Rồi,
hơi khó.
mấy cái Battlefield Phôi á, anh em cần Battlefield Phôi á, thì mình
Going
cũng có
for
một
the
số
plant, not
cái.
going to be giving this over to Sayonara. Wanting him
Nói
to be
chung
the
là
one to cover.
coi cứ Battlefield thì bạn cứ inbox lọc rồi có gì nếu mà có thì mình
Damage him,
báo.
but cannot confirm the
Rồi mấy
kill.
cái rule nè, anh em mà cần rule mà
Opponent's conversion
rule
to
mà
be
dạng theo
allowed.
set á,
They
thì
do it
mình
damn
bán được mấy
cleanly,
cái rule
but
như
now
vậy.
going to be moving up 11 to
Còn mấy
4.
cái này là
I
dư
mean,
ra
these
của mình.
up close and personal
Ai
battles.
chơi muốn là tổ
So
chức có một
impressive
ca
for the
thất
foot
đúng.
players once again.
À,
This
rồi
time it's
có mấy cái
sociable,
phôi,
who somehow
Battlefield phôi
finds two. Oh,
của
the
mùa 3,
second
mùa 1,
one.
mùa 2 luôn.
Yampi through the door.
Rồi,
Stack deck
rồi
Sắp
stack
đẹp nha
deck.
mọi người.
Walking on water here on this map.
Đây, đây, đây.
À, rồi Savage,
Sao vậy?
Crazy.
Savage.
Absolutely crazy.
Sao vậy cũng đang rẻ với mọi người.
Rồi,
Giảm nửa giá mà.
Well situated.
Imperial
And
Decree,
now
Imperial
that
Decree,
buyout
Imperial
not going to be
Decree,
there
không
for
nói
Yampi because they invested a little bit
Stupid
extra
five,
into that
stupid
bonus
five
to try
phôi.
to get it to go.
Runner không phôi nha,
As the
Runner
Sova,
không
you're
phôi.
probably playing behind those duelists a little bit, so
Inbox
Rồi,
này.
Singularity, giờ còn sao
Cái nào cũng được.
Singularity, đó.
Cái
nào cũng được em.
Rồi, Plundering Poro,
Ai biết
Wake
lọc
Up
thì nhắn lọc, còn ai không biết thì nhắn qua bên.
Rip Direct này nọ là mấy cái này là phôi hết. Singularity là không có phôi nha.
Đây,
Rồi,
còn
Emgar là phôi hết. Rồi, Stellacon không phôi nha. Nhưng mà có, anh em nào cần Irelium có hết.
đây.
Rồi, Defy.
Cái này mới là mù mắt nè anh em. Chói mắt luôn.
Rồi,
Hay
Defy.
chói mắt.
Bỏ 10 lá Defy vô trong deck của mình.
Ra đường
Anh em ra đường cứ Defy hết.
Hào ở nhắn lọc hay là
Rồi, not so fast.
bay vào được, bay vào được.
À, not so fast. Rồi, mấy cái clip này nọ.
Theo một
Rồi, một beam. Rồi, Detonate là phôi nha. Ok, cần gì thì cứ PM cái lòng mình không.
Beam với lọc hoặc là nhắn lên Rip Power nha.
Ok rồi, tiếp theo.
Jay could have pushed up.
Rồi mình tới boss cuối cùng trong ngày. Last boss Magic. Rồi hào đợi nha, hết chương trình Lộc sẽ trả lời em.
Jay claims him, his foot now moves up 12-4. Map point is there. Fracture on the
Lộc điểm sức tí còn quýnh match up Raven đi ra chưa về.
Bold as all hell.
Oh, that's exactly where I was going next. I'm like, Sop just absolutely zero fear in this. When you're up 11-4, you know you can just send it a few times to test your opponents. And Minnie was talking about this on the desk that maybe the Vitality is a tough time when it's up close and personal.
Sabotage có luôn em ơi, em có hết, có hết đầy đủ. Xuống tam Sabotage.
Outlaw will be now in hand. We have bombers to try to capitalize on. Little backpedal and Zeus at the same time, scaling up into mid window. Gets himself very quickly situated. Running back is going to be committed. Straight up through long, onto the side itself. Zeus, there's that outside are going to be snapped back. Zeus plants his fade and he's able to find Yampi. Sop gets himself
Mọi người cần cạc gì cứ liên hệ nha. Mình đảm bảo là bên Boro Rebound sẽ đầy đủ nhất cho mọi người. Không thiếu một bất kỳ một cạc nào nữa. À nè, nhắc cái Yoli nhận thấy anh 22 lá rồi. Player Brunkin. Hình như cái đó là Lê Lăng cũng có đánh á. Một số Lê Lăng bây giờ bắt đầu đánh cái đó rồi. Nhưng mà đánh có một cây rồi.
A 1v1, the blades popped. Durka to try to keep them alive in this map. He's getting poked and prodded and sprayed down.
Nhưng mình hit gì ở sau á mọi người.
The defuse is there and it's dominance on display.
Ai muốn Rengar cũng có nha. Hoặc là cái
13-4. We're going to fracture.
That was incredible work from them, top to bottom. That attacker side, so dominant. And then a few rounds here where they're able to work a little bit of magic, get a few bounces their way, and claim a pretty clean defender side.
Fracture will decide it all to see who is going to be getting a 2-0 record to start off Masters London. Foot looking clean, can Vitality rally back? We will find out after the break.
Không, đừng mở mới lên, quê lắm chịu hết.
Let's go!
Rồng phôi kìa em. Mod chơi bài rồng hả? Huấn luyện rồng hả? Chơi rồng. Rồng phôi.
Rồng phôi. Break. Thường combo rồng phải có chỉ cần cái rút bài thôi. Thật ra con Caloris cũng không cần lắm. Nhưng mà có khỏe.
Sao hit luôn, hit nguyên chắc luôn.
Chắc ngon quá.
Ngon quá ngon.
Trái
tim sắt đá. Mũ phù tử luôn.
Mình thấy là rung mình.
Nhiều khi từ từ em sẽ kiếm signature cho anh. Đừng áp lực quá hả? Quá quẹo quá. Ơi kìa Lucian Gamon. Lucian cái ghẻ bởi má kiếm Lucian đủ 3 con. Đúng rồi. Mình nên
bên còn mấy con Lucian AA một cam
will get you to your destination at the touch of a button on your smartphone. Booking bus tickets to your.
Nếu
set Lucian AA rồi nguyên set
bạn nào mà main Lucian muốn build Lucian có ấy có bạn Trần Minh đó, bạn kêu bây giờ muốn build một cái set rẻ rẻ build cho bây giờ bán nó Lucian đi để build đi. Thằng bạn Trần Minh đó cái bán để bạn làm để build cho bạn build một set Lucian.
Áo choàng lửa luôn. Hay quá.
Vậy là em nghĩ là cái boss này sẽ mở ra on signature đó.
Đây là đủ. Ủa danh với si vong mới là một.
On nữa nè.
Cái Riot anh thấy nó mạnh nhưng mà sao nó vẫn chưa nhìn deck xài ha.
Sai xài mà.
Riot á.
Welcome
món đánh nó xài
back. Bring it back, and
kéo
we
về
are
tay
going
xong
to
ra một
go
đúng không?
the series today between
Hamburger.
Vitality and Foot. Now, Billy, I know you're supporting Foot today. You're predicting
Asan
them
nữa là mừng.
to win today. I think TMV is also predicting for them to win today. He is so loud right now.
Vậy mà hồi mới em mới
You can
chơi
see
cái
him in the
Masan mà cái
stadium
quỷ.
waving there, absolutely delighted. It was a bit of a
Em
masterclass
đợi
fight,
signature,
but on
ok,
Haven,
anh
they
cũng
made
đợi
it
giống
look
em.
so easy. Yeah, the energy has been electric. I mean, I had them in my predictions. Obviously, I love both the
Anh hứa nếu mà bóc ra signature giúp quay hết
I'm
đúng
really
kẹt.
happy for Foot because if I said to you at the very start of this event coming into it that Foot could have the potential to be one of the flawless teams going into playoffs, I think you would have looked at me as if I was a crazy person.
Yeah, a definitely underrated team for sure. Like
I thought you say yes. Being a crazy person, but absolutely, yeah, underrated.
yeah, no, you were crazy, Billy. Yeah.
Thanks, Billy. Thank you.
Yeah,
Đủ ngon vậy.
I feel less like a fraud as well because I said that I thought this series was going to go for 3 matches. We're going to get a banger on Fracture, and I also said that Vitality on their defense they weren't so good before, and it was once again not very good this time around.
Biết nữa là mọi người.
Beautiful exits from Foot. Honestly, just doing their usual stuff, grouping
Ê,
up
nè,
together,
anh
going into
nhắc cái
sites
rượu
and
ba
making
con
it
rồi,
very
chứ không
awkward
thấy
for
có hai.
Vitality. The sync on Vitality's defense didn't seem there at all. You see some of these setups here, it just doesn't seem to be working at all. Foot had to do what you did.
Em chỉ xin bạn ok tâm. Anh mà mở ra signature là anh tặng hết đống cạc này, ai muốn gì và quay hết.
Even if Vitality had stacks and had reads, it did not matter. Zeus was dashing in, Sok was making space.
Phúc mở signature hoài trời.
They are this type of team though, right? If you let
Đây
them
này,
punch
ra
in the
tím
face,
nè.
they will keep punching and punching and
Nè.
punching. And
Nãy
Vitality,
em
they had
muốn
worried about the team cohesion when I think back to their group stage performance. And as you kind of hinted at there, Minnie, I think there was moments where that was
Top
missing
mùa
for
2 mở
Vitality
ra
to
đúng
be
không?
able to punish this
Mới
or
ra
even
Timo
stop
mà.
any sort of aggression coming in from Foot.
Anh tính ra
The
mở
rounds were
mẫu
really
hoài thành thiệt.
snowballing. They had 7 rounds before Vitality could find any breath of air.
Signature Ari.
Yeah, I did actually like some of what Vitality were bringing early. Some pushes I asked for more aggression, but it was just they couldn't hold sides at all. It was very strange that the synergy was just completely
con này nếu mà hồi
and
trước
going
là
into
600.000 đó.
a map that
Đúng không?
requires you to have a very strong defense, a
Đúng
very
rồi.
strange
Cái
way
hồi mà
of
Raven
where you're
Miracle
pushing
kia
out
hot
quite a
đó.
lot. That's not a great sign for
Hồi
Vitality.
hot
Now, there's a
Raven
player
nó
that
hot
we
hơn.
haven't
Cái Raven
spoken
ban đầu á,
about a
trước khi đánh
lot.
cái
It's
combo Miracle.
Cristalli. What are your thoughts on his
Hình như là
performance today? I
600.
mean, he's been pretty integral. Not just today, but throughout this event so far, he's really impressed me. I think as well, we have to consider his role here, right? Being that initiator, being that person
bao nhiêu
that's
cái 10
constantly
triệu mà.
having to set Zeus and Zop up for them to go on and try. And I think honestly, for him to come through and have
This
the
is
individual
Gogo.
performance that he's having at this global event, he's not ever really just picking up 1 kill. There's 2 here and there, maybe even 3, and I'm really impressed with him so far, Minnie.
Yeah, I think in EMEA he's one of those players that gets like he's a little bit just like to the side. Like we've got players like Sop on this team, we've got players like Zeus popping off now, Yatoje, and so he's just off to the side a little bit. I'm hoping that this
Yasuo set 2 over number bờ anh bên có Yasuo over number set 2 không?
This is dangerous for Vitality.
I think it's good for them too, right? Because as you're mentioning, they don't have to just rely on one individual. Like, we're not looking at Foot and going, oh, but they're like one person carrying the team. No, you can see every single player pop up when it matters most.
Definitely, and we did see them play
cái con
yesterday
tím tím
on
không?
Fracture, and they dominated against Full Sense,
Để
against Sop
check
on that jet. I know
Mình
it's
rồi,
not
thăm
just
Mình
the
rồi.
Sop show, but it's really hard to resist highlighting him on this map. Whereas on the other side, Vitality, as far as I understand, over in EMEA, it was their permaban.
Yeah, they'd be banning it every time they could, and when they couldn't, it was just because they knew the other team wouldn't pick it against them. So interesting to see, like, theory, that may be what they might be playing today. I think for my money, they're going to probably go for a double duelist approach, maybe raising Phoenix, maybe running out with a Cypher, maybe quite a standard approach in my opinion.
Yeah, I think the raise in Phoenix almost feels like a given, right? We're probably expecting to see Sayonara jump onto that Phoenix. We're expecting Darka to be on the raise, and I really want to see them warm up to this, right? They're one map away from being able to make it to that playoff spot, and it's just this moment now where it gets to crunch time.
That's right, and they are, we talk about Vitality being
Bạn nào
super
muốn mua rune
team
full
right
set,
now, but to be at this very
luôn có đầy đủ
point
nha.
against Foot on map 3 of Fracture, it's hard, you know, to be as confident in my prediction for Vitality today, Minnie.
Yeah, of course, but they have been probably working on this in the background. They're going to come out with some new ideas. This is the perfect opportunity to surprise Foot with something new, even if it is a standard approach. Let's see some of that new micro, some of these new lineups, some of this new gimmicky stuff. Like, you can gamble a lot more when there's no tape on you, and Foot do not have that advantage. They played it before. Vitality would have been staying up overnight watching that tape, and hopefully coming in today with both a new game plan and some new playbook.
And a reminder of how successful Foot were yesterday. Taking control of those extremities, Sop being on the sniper was absolutely a highlight, and it looks as though we are going to see that Phoenix and Raze, as you kind of hinted at, Minnie, from this Vitality squad. I think Yami on the Fade here is a really great pairing. It looks as though it's more of a standard kind of composition for Fracture.
Yeah, pretty standard. The thing that we're going to look for Vitality is how much are they going to farm these orbs to Sayonara. I want to see every anti-eco, every eco. I want to see them running around that map, trying to get him as many orbs as possible. 3 is the minimum for me, 4 is the maximum that he could probably get. On the Foot side, yeah, same composition as yesterday, starting on that defense. I loved how aggressive they were, how they were pushing out. I said that there's no team in the Swiss stage that I've been impressed by with their fractures regionally. I think the Foot are starting to understand that it's not about holding sites, it's about pressing up forward, it's about pushing out, and Vitality are going to have to be very careful about that today.
And on this defensive side, watch out for Yetaji sitting on tower on that B side with his little rat plays that he does over back in EMEA. I'm really excited to see how that transitions.
mới có 2 vàng á, mới có 2 vàng á là một cái rune
You're gonna have a Phoenix flashing their way in as well. Yeah, I mean, the fact that we have one map away now for one of these EMEA teams to be able to lock in playoffs, I never would have thought that Foot would have found themselves in this position.
Well, this is really exciting. We are about to find out who our first playoffs team is going to be.
Rất sai.
Or Vitality.
Đây mình đỏ. Đỏ này luôn. Fira.
Casters, Helios, Paper Thin, please take it away.
Come on, London, you can do better than that.
Đúng rồi, rất sai với Fira.
hôm nay là mọi người comment số nào là cái bot nó thích to hết á. To.
Playoffs on the line, one final map to settle it between Foot and Vitality. Somebody was talking about
Rồng thêm tăng hợp kiếm, thêm bóng bát.
Mong anh trả diễn đàn.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I fully agree with Minnie here that what was so impressive was how active on the map Foot is on this defender side, and already looking to get a little bit aggressive.
Đây hơi tùm lum tà la nha.
They're taking it slow. They're looking for their opportunities over on the cross corner.
Hello mọi người, mình quay trở lại đây. Chắc chắn là lợi hại hơn rồi.
Reveal, but just can't quite capitalize there. Walker stopped early, but some damage is found on top of that elimination. Now Sayonara completely outdueled.
Con nó đẹp á.
Also the wayside of the spike gets planted. Still 5 players strong, but Yetaji
9 điểm rưỡi.
end up getting put 6 feet under. Zeus simplifying one. Sociable getting a third. Durka now having a backstab makes his presence known. Needs to be clean and taps, but they will overwhelm him, and Sociable gets the 4K.
Nhưng mà em không thấy lỗi gì hết trơn á. Mặt sau không thấy.
And the comm so good here for Foot, getting that early identification of Chronicle's position, and Sociable so aware, so ready for it, putting that frenzy to incredible use. Nice one tap there, and the rest of the way
Mình làm content mà mình cứ chậm chậm thôi, mọi người
getting on his feet.
bắt kịp mình.
and finding yet another pistol win.
Rồi luôn.
They continue to look so well prepared on this defender side of Fracture.
And when you're not the one playing the Phoenix, getting all of those ult charges over to the Brimstone is going to be pretty much best case scenario for you. That are the showstoppers where you want them to go. But look at this force by Vitality trying to catch foot off guard. 3 Stingers, a Marshall, and a Sheriff.
Cả box này là của mình nha mọi người.
Because they're anticipating this outlaw to be in the hands of Sop.
Yeah, it's a similar idea. They've been looking for some of these advantages.
Rồi, first back magic.
There's the one shot. Marshall not necessarily going to tell you that everybody else does have weaponry. They will soon find out as Durka has to clear that Prowler, so Stingers are hurt. But the potential bad news, can they stem this tide? Yettajay, he says yes. He finds one blind through that smoke.
A kill trip.
Nó số phát này ngon nè. Rồi, cái đầu tiên là
bị đâu.
Elimination found, the Bulldog upgraded the spike. Is a world away as he looks at reposition.
He's gonna have a lot of
Check
time to though, so
Position, I think he's probably just going to try to save this, given the investment. For a little bit more damage, but this is going to be a difficult task for a player of his caliber, and Sop will have him outdone. 3K for the Jet, a 2-0 start for Foot, and Vitality have broken their bank.
Thấy có hit này nha mọi người.
From Vitality, recognizing Yettajay's tendencies, but he repositions right back off of that trip clear into a spot where he can get a freebie through the smokes. Oh, Sop.
Đây, bây giờ đá đầu tiên là Rare.
He is so comfy on the Jet. Such a good neon.
Lại một AA nữa. Và đó là con phiêu ra vàng. Phiêu ra cam. Lội, nó về. 2 AA trong 2 bắt. Bóc gì đây mọi người? Bóc gót tất cả đều là AA.
What's going to be taken? Wise, this knows that there's going to be a second layer. Does just have to allow for that Phoenix to claim it, but here comes the judge.
Hai con phê phót á.
Able to find one. Meanwhile, that top side crush going to be coming in. Takes a little effort from Zeus, but eventually will have the shots aligned with that Spectre in hand, and now it's just Chronicle to try to get some damage in.
Taking it out. They kind of forget about it for a second there, and he does get one, but sociable.
Dead.
As the Bandit has the headshot, and that's going to be Foot going up 3-0. A rough start here on the attacker side for Vitality. Again, you got to start already thinking here as Vitality about maybe an early timeout, maybe talking about how you want to handle this Cypher util, because it's gotten a couple early kills. They're able to play off of it pretty quickly.
Ui, không cóตีđược.
Enough said.
That's all you needed.
Yeah.
Job done.
Outlaw still going to be retained. It's only Yampi with half armor though.
3-0 à? Bắt chơi 3-0.
Sop can line up some headshots. He's one away from the blades. Has a bit of a backup, and that orbital strike, of course, ready to go.
Nè, run nè, nè. Rồi, cái đầu tiên là phôi nha. 2 con phiêu ra bia liệt. Ai nhắn tin anh nha Bảo ơi. Xíu nữa về anh chắc là có dư đó. Đây. Thấy chưa mọi người? Vô tay mình là khác. 20 đô. Bóc này cam quá anh ơi. Đúng rồi, bóc này hơi cam nha. Cam là khả năng một tí là có Auri signature nha. Không liên quan lắm nhưng mà Counter Strike. Rồi, có Jack thì có Counter Strike, vậy là khả năng ra over number IRE à. Over number phiêu ra. Ngoài ra mình đang bán một over number phiêu ra nha mọi người. Mua 2. Một. Rồi, nữa nè.
Forward, did it behind the box here on the east side of the map.
Try this angle again, but there's an extra layer. He trips this time. Another trying to bait him in. just expect one there. You don't expect the second.
Lonely Boro. Rune. Quá cam luôn á mọi người. Ai hồi nãy comment là bot này hơi cam là cam dữ luôn đó. Ra honor ire để em nha. Ok bạn chí tài nha. Nhưng mà là BS10. Bạn muốn mua BS10 thì liên hệ mình nha.
Mẹ hụt quân tí.
Đây giới thiệu bạn liền. Honor cái này.
Đây, cái này đang bán cho bạn. Honor ire BS10.
Prophet with a tremendous round, gonna have his ult coming into the next one.
Ire chữ ký.
Mình có còn
big ults here though, 4 foot on the other side. You do have the blade storm, you do have the showstopper, so there's real potential to get this thrifty to go.
Dirk is one away from the showstopper of his own as well, so plenty of firepower to deal with. It's going to be the blades off the rip. Sop again, looking fearless, really get rewarded for it. The answer's looking to be unlikely, but Crystalli will still be able to finish off Sayonara. Cuts back around the corner. The Prowler going to be sent through. Looking away to try to make a go of this one, but now the showstopper's going to be lobbed in at his feet. Yuppie destroyed. Now brought to bear. It's like a re-pivot here. So realize where this is planted at.
con đó
Đen
này thì hôm thứ tư qua rồi mình đắt deal nhé. Em có trong clip mà trả lời ôi không, mấy con over number này không có chữ ký. Rumble in the jungle. Bía thì 10 đúng rồi, con bía em 10 đó. Hôm em nha nhắn tin qua bên Facebook cá nhân anh, em tham gia ngày thứ tư nha để anh confirm. Nói mấy bạn khác cũng làm vậy luôn rồi nha. Người win China matching order con này đâu cũng rồi 4 vàng à. Lỡ mọi người lỡ chân. Nói em thành lập nha. Ok lên này nha. Giải tuần này mình ưu tiên cho mấy bạn top 8 đợt vừa rồi nha. Top 8 đợt vừa rồi.
Quá con mèo đâu.
Ở Sài Gòn TCG là ok nha. Top 8 của mình mà.
Bà ơi, một phát, một em, một quy mất mẹ thanh máu luôn mà.
Top 3 nha. Rõ ràng. Để chứ anh nói quá. Để
just absolutely wild. I mean, the confidence here, though, from Vitality, knowing they have that showstopper, so they can just bully their way forward towards the site. Sure, they don't get a kill for it, but they get a lot of space off the back of that.
Đúng rồi, con ra được rồi.
Then at the end, everybody coordinating well.
Cảm ơn anh Bin.
No extra damage done. And it's going to be put back
nhiều thì mình phải giải quyết giùm nỗi lo của anh mình. Trời ơi, coronavirus. Coronavirus mọi người ơi.
Má rồi, nó 40 phép.
Rồi, xong rồi in chiếc power cái con Seraphine 80 ngàn nhưng mà nó exhaust. Thì lúc đó mới phải mở cái con CV ready, Anton ready unit.
Many sidelines here as Prowler will check around the back of the box.
Đúng không?
That does have Zeus ushered out into the
open. Quý vị à.
Chronicle can easily
khó nói. Ôi, fit. Quề bắt này. cứ ra fit là quề bắt. Nó defend lên bằng 3 bắt 4 bắt.
Nó đơn giản hóa.
Chấm thử cho. Tí một.
Nó đơn giản hóa, con Rai đơn giản hóa.
Nó đú tì. Còn nó chắc đi kẹt về chơi.
Em thấy bây giờ sao nó đau. Thôi thật rồi. Em tôi hỏi sao nó đau thế. Mẹ đơn giản hóa.
Mấy bạn trên group thì cứ để đó mình trả lời sau.
Gonna have any armor behind it. Stolly does have his ult. So do Kron and Sayonara.
Long chuyển qua đến hai bên rồi.
Try to brute force their way through.
Quản lý lúc
Ô, nè vừa mới nói Rumble. Speaking about Rumble. Chiếc Rumble giờ chắc cũng rẻ mọi người. Mấy bạn nào mới chơi thì có thể liên hệ mình build cho một cái deck Rumble cơ bản tầm khoảng dưới 1 triệu. Có luôn con kia thì tầm khoảng 2 triệu là hết giá số. Là các bạn chơi được rồi.
Ôi ôi.
Chơi gì không?
2 giây. 2 giây là những gì nó cần để giết anh.
Một Rumble ok em bảo nha. Thấy tin nhắn rồi nhưng mà chưa có trả lời được đâu. Đợi xíu nữa thì xong rồi anh tổng hợp lại tin nhắn rồi anh trả lời luôn một lần. Tối nay
anh Dương gì bảo ơi,
on nhiều quá nè, quá nhiều on nhưng mà không có cái dương miệng nào, toàn là mũ với áo.
Mà bố mà có Yuvi thì
mũ với áo rồi.
They want to get themselves back into this and tie it up again, but you mentioned Propek. I mean, the orbital one charge away. He is currently 14, 3, and 5. He has
hit
been
nè,
carrying down
chắc hit là Riot quá.
which is great to see.
Mình chỉ mong là Riot thôi.
That's a bit of an alternate
À,
performance from
gì
him.
vậy?
We weren't seeing that fragging coming through. But like every time he got into
sai.
an angle,
What
he
the
was
hell?
just getting dips. Now
Nó
he
sai
is
ba
the
con
one
đi
that's
chung.
being dominant.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, top
The hell
like
lên
this Vitality roster. Anybody could pop off at any time, so
của nó luôn.
What the hell we did? Like one of those ults you were talking about earlier, right? Either the orbital or the showstopper, getting those online so quickly, so impactful here on this attacker side. They can continue this role, make this an 8-4. You got to feel really good about Vitality's chances to close this series out, but
what the hell we done?
Foot taken.
Bắt đó là bắt gì?
Đi ra có 2 con cho chọn số luôn. Nếu mà muốn
đây lên này thứ tư qua nha để coi. Rồi con 80 con 81 làm một con nào đó cho đẹp. 2 con kế bên thì mua 2 con luôn em. Nào bán còn
nó vừa bán tao nè mà.
từ giờ nó qua mà thứ tư anh cũng có ở đây mà. Ủa năm mấy giờ bay?
Durka finds the readjustment. Eliminated, and the thrifty not to be.
It's a roll of the dice here for Foot.
Nhiều content.
Feeling like they can invest.
Chủ nhật này là bắt đầu đánh giải kia rồi.
The value. They come close. They give it a go. Right there, Sayonara.
Còn ông đẹp phái không?
As the orbital's blooming. Beautiful stuff from Durka up on high.
Anh còn coi không?
stellar.
Thịnh còn ở đó không ta?
Yeah, that one's a tough pill to swallow.
Frustrating, especially after the performance that we were seeing from Sully on the previous map. Hasn't been able to find that same form yet. They will have to backpedal away. Their ball connecting. Using that stiffy to get himself outward safety. They know exactly where he's at, so Showstopper serves up an easy kill. Now their own orbital strike. Hold him to clear that tower.
Ok, hình như là hết rồi nha mọi người. Bắt đây rồi là bắt cuối cùng. Cảm ơn mọi người đã xem. Hẹn mọi người vào ngày tiếp theo.
A massive rescue of this half. Unless Zeus can do the unthinkable. Blaze wall situated. He will backpedal away. Knows that their economy is down in the dumps. They need everything that they could possibly get, so he will just go for the save and retain this weapon. After a 0-3 start, Vitality now find themselves with the lead.
I mean, they're so ready for this aggressive play from Foot. Look at where those blue X's are on the map. They are pushed out. And Vitality handles it with grace. Still, though, I'm already looking towards this next round for Foot because we've already seen them pull off a Thrifty. It was a little bit wild, but you're going to have some real heavy-hitting ults potentially coming into this round. You already have the Showstopper. You have Yedajay's ult. Stops one away from the Blade Storm. So there's a lot here to potentially turn this around, but a lot of frustration there from the Foot coaching staff. With this hot start they had, able to deal with the force buy. It felt like maybe they were going to have a shout on this defender's side to put up another strong performance, but Vitality has come roaring back once again. He's looking to deny their entry into playoffs.
Stop. Updraft up onto the box.
Statuesque.
Position. Doesn't look for that punish either. And sees forward, Krishnali able to slow them up a little bit on this approach. They have to evacuate that Sands area. Sayonara continues to get closer and closer to pushing up onto the side. The Showstopper is still going to be there. Chronicle still waiting for this flank. And Sop, I think, is going to be none the wiser to this. Foot will find no value from this ult, and the spike gets ushered back across into this A site. Sociable starting to hear this, but look at this, the awareness as they push him into the open. A couple stray shots out from Zeus, but Chronicle still able to find more value. Yedajay is dead, and Zeus has fallen. Vitality roar back into this map, into this series. They lock up an 8-4 lead at the half.
The preparation here for Vitality, incredible. They do a great job reading the aggressive play from Foot. I think he might have heard Sociable's footsteps there.
They're onto the back foot. Foot now needing to come out, win that pistol again, and start building up a win streak of their own from the attacker's side. We'll see if they can do it after the break.
7-5, 8-4 chứ. Vitality lật lại mà. Điên. Đúng là cái gì cũng là xảy ra.
Yo, me done left sober, so man wave. Screw face cause I ain't got no shades. Chat with your chest, man, don't do shade. I need cake, don't need headache. Vibe in a place, man, step and sway. Wink and gal when I come my way. Man do road and man do gal, yo. Bread get break and bed get break. Food up a run, I need a new plate. Gal up a run, I like a new shape. Gally on me, true, say I look sweet. Can't get enough, now she got a toothpick. Man one friend, now they see me on stage. Why don't beg, better know your place. Finger on deck with a funky sounds and M's on bars, yeah, man, no say. Gang on bars, car and with me. It's my style, them man want take. It's not real, them man too fake. Don't call me power like man, don't hate one. Stab my back and smiling face. Feel some way, then you're that brave. Get a little change and man try change, but them thing there can't run with me. Live from my step in the entrance. Touch my kin farm, everybody in trance. See a hot gal in the distance. Close that distance, let me get this done.
We go now into the second half, this final map between Foot and Vitality. The pressure certainly building up for them. It was such a fantastic start to this map, but it has now eluded them.
6 in a row. 6 in a row for Vitality to close out that half. So the confidence is there. Prophet is out of control right now, 17-3. Going into a defender's side, Brimstone. Got to feel like he can continue to carry the weight here for Vitality, potentially. This pistol, they've been so good for Foot this series so far. They've won the bulk of them, all but one. Is Vitality going to be able to find another in a pivotal moment? Be able to send themselves into playoffs as that first team through. Just have to wait and see. Foot, I want to see some more coordination here. It looked like that was starting to falter as that half went on. Some of that great trading, some of that great coordination, that push and pull they have with those double duelists just didn't seem to be there. They were trying to make some isolated individual plays at times, and it was getting shut right down by Vitality.
Here we go, the barrier's dropping, and Yami going to be taking that first contact. It's going to be good for a kill, but still able to trade it up. Damage suffered on the Sop. Down to 45 is Sayonara. Maybe caught off guard here, trying to align the shots, but demonetize does manage to come out on top. 5 health between these two players, and now it is down to Prophet and Chronicle to try to see if they can rescue this, get themselves another pistol win. Or Foot are going to get the exact start that they need. Try to bring this back under their control. Still fall down, and Chronicle so wise to it. Finds a low HP Jet.
Xin ra vũ công thứ hai.
Stali needing to hold his own, but Chronicle locks on for the headshot. Spam now coming in. There's no Molly available, but Sociable is able to find Chronicle. The smoke will fall, and Sociable will stand tall once again. 3 kills for the Brim, another pistol under their belt. Foot 3 rounds away from tying it up.
I feel like, I'm pretty sure 7 out of his 9 kills are in the pistol rounds for Sociable. That is...
I believe that is correct.
Well, I mean, those are super impactful rounds, so if you're going to find them there, that's fine. I don't see any buy-up this time from Vitality. Just
moving over to the defender side will just be the Bandit.
Yeah, just the Bandit, so we'll see. That's really nice for Foot, getting that orbital strike again. Fast-tracked a little bit. Let's see what they want to do with the orbs. Yeah, they're just going to beat him to Sociable. Work the map a little bit more here or not.
Camera out. Clean tap from demonetize. Sayonara, just another ult charge gained in death. Dirk at the same time riding the rope. He's going to try to get a catch here onto this enemy Cypher. And he will be able to do so. Can just upgrade it over to the Ghost. Meanwhile, Yampi trying to find him timing out of the smoke, get some damage in, but Sop quickly shuts him down as the plant now will come through. Dirk just sliding back across towards that north side. Trying to just keep that doubt here in their head and make sure that they're constantly having to watch over towards that triangle, but find another kill as Prophet will fall. Payshell into the face of Crystalli will have him backpedaling away. Now the jig is up. They know where these players are at, and Sop eventually is able to get the hip fire to connect. Follow-up is looking clean here in the anti-eco. His Foot move up. Now just down by 2.
They're carrying over some pretty hefty firepower. They're gonna have a couple rifles. They're gonna give Sop a Vandal as well. Ooh, demonetize, man. Just love the way he plays the Cypher. So aggressive, so good off his own util.
No enemy remaining.
Sop just cooled down a little bit, but a little bit of frustration there shown. Like, man, if we could have just got one there as Yampi, maybe that's what turns the tables in that round, but wait and see. Proactive play, different sides of the map, gonna rely on Chronicle's util here. Foot at bay a little bit, but they're scaling.
With the camera, Chronicle tunnel along the Chocolate is going to be able to find him at Sop. We'll be able to trade him out. Now Sociable gets the trade up. Prophet dead. The push forward through Canteen, and Sayonara will have Sop outdone. Favorite in that fight is Sociable. Watching around the back. Blast pack forward. Durka going to be eating a little bit of damage now. Sociable going to be the one that eventually can get overwhelmed. He's still able to cut himself another kill. Durka eliminated, and Yampi now into a 1v2 to try to prevent this bonus conversion.
Bring them down.
Now to try to check forward, but these players from Foot have scattered to the winds. demonetize on that spawn side, back of Gen. The other in tower, the time starting to bleed out. And there's a timing found for demonetize, swinging in, util in hand. Yampi absolutely dead. Another bonus converted. Foot suddenly are 1 away from tying this up.
What an entry here for Sop. Chronicles trying to get away after a labored first kill. And then Sociable starting to get it done with the rifles too now. holding the line there, crucially, on the backside for Foot. It was even numbers for a moment. Now Sociable stopping the kill charts for Foot. Absolutely incredible. Sop gonna go for the Outlaw. A couple sheriffs in the mix for Vitality. Yappy, a lot of guns.
Just a double trip set up into all 5 players on this north side, and Sop is able to find Yappy to start things off. Players in position for Vitality to try to counteract this. It should continue forwards. It is still yet could get very messy. Slow scale forward, and Chronicle hits a belter of a shot. Zeus going to be taken down. Tailwind now popped. Smoke comes in. Considering a check forward, but they'll just swap the guns over. That for a potential recovery on that Outlaw as they just slowly and silently work their way back across towards B.
Yeah, you haven't seen or heard anything over here as Yedajay, so they're just gonna lasso the rest of the team over here. Kron will get an early warning with his cam, so Vitality can get over there pretty quick.
Hết chiều mày.
Look like they're gonna make the move. They're gonna wait this out to make sure.
Holy smoke!
Just dropping down all the smokes, not wanting to give any cheeky angles over.
30
will be the
seconds
first to rotate, currently working his way towards Canteen. The rest of the team, they're not necessarily convinced quite just yet. Maybe thinking this is going to be a little bit rude, but now they hear that plan coming through. Couple shots through the smoke, some damage going to be suffered by Sop, but still alive and well. Try to create some angles here to get this going. Angel is going to be invested straight up onto the side. Sociable still tucked in at bench, waiting for this push to come in. Prophet does have that Outlaw in hand, but the spray down will eventually come through. Sop and Yedajay able to find kills off camera at the same time, and it's going to be a big around from the Jet, and Split tie it up 8-8.
Really sturdy stuff and great calling from Sociable to not fall for Vitality's trap. They lose the one player. This is why you have those sentinels out on the peripheries of the map to alert you to when there might be some open space somewhere else. So that's a tough one to read because it's Kron who gets the kill. It's the Cyphers. You don't know if he's on his own. You don't know if he's kind of on that A site just trying to lock it down by himself. It's a really good one. And again, a hot attacker side start for Foot.
Well, they're going to try to punish Yappy again. This time he'll lead out with a Prowler. Not look to peek into the angle. Would love to try to push them back towards that south side into the sightlines of Durka. It'll just be a grab of the orb though. Playing Pac-Man and out, rotating back across, wanting to once again attack into B. There's knives that will get popped.
Smoke's down.
Needs to go huge here. Him and Prophet can buy some time.
Not checking around. Sociable going to be one away from having that orbital online.
Great stuff. Great orb.
See over the top of that smoke, so knows that they're not scaling forward, but instead going to be the sewers push coming in. At the same time, Sayonara, he has rotated into position, has that run it back available to try to shut down this take. Fire going to be cleared out. 40 seconds remaining in the round. The up and over going through from Sop, and he's going to be shut down. Chronicles able to find two. Both duels now going to be dead. Prophet getting a piece of the pie as Crystalli will fall. Ping reveal there onto Yedajay, but he's managed to slip the net. Tucking back over towards Canteen. Snap back on the Phoenix. Some further away. Durka at the same time joining in on this south side at main. Sociable's trying to fish up for this kill. Open up some space. Trying to go for the plan, but Chronicle holds his own. Gets the 3K. Now looking for the fourth. Yedajay will deny. He cannot get this round win.
10
seconds remaining. And completely surrounded. Durka dialed in on the angle. Will get Vitality back into a one-round lead.
That's exactly what you want to see from Kron. He is having a phenomenal map himself. 17 kills on the board. The way he holds this down. Opts to not clear the haunt. Doesn't give a damn. Takes down both duelists himself. Insane individual effort. Durka there with that steady operator at the end. They have enough map control here that they can read this pretty well. Like you said, Sayonara gets into place early. Give a little bit of help with that run it back with the Phoenix. High setup there. They're going to give up some space over at Dish.
Stop is going to have to be Johnny on the spot with this one. Tuck back around the corner. Now the face forward inside R will end up falling. They get 2 kills. Prophet's still going to be playing forward here. Clears out that haunt. Oh, he nearly had them lined up, but it's still going to be Zeus swinging in to take down the enemy Brimstone. Durka now, his work cut out for him as Chronicle frantically tries to rotate into position, but he's going to be matched as the spike gets ushered back towards B. The read is there for Vitality. Brimstone's a decent enough position.
In beacon here.
Sociable. Revealed, has to tuck away, and Durka able to find Zeus on that entry. Snipes him out of the sky. The spike now going to be brought forward. Tap of the play, the showstopper going to be invested, and Chronicle has Sociable pinned in by the tripwire. All of a sudden, this round has completely been flipped on its head. Vitality once again favored. Playing this one helped from a 3v5 deficit at the start.
Have enough time to make one more wrap here. Keep their sounds obscured, and they will.
30 seconds left.
What a wild round already. Can't believe this is into a 2v2 now.
Time to go for the sprint. Take the orb, get the plant, would have the Nightfall online, but it looks like they just want to try to get situated before any kind of rotations can quickly come in for Vitality. So Cam set up into the defender spawn. Spike now planted for Foot. Vitality, they have to be giving that a consideration. Is there a flank? Did they just send the planter by themselves? Camera going to be revealed. Spots out the one. Hasn't seen the other, I don't believe. Door tapped. Yettajay swooping forward, finds the first. They know exactly where Chronicle's at. Just need to try to not give him the angles. He's quickly storming his way towards Yettajay, but Yettajay turns back and shuts him down. 9-9. Foot again tied things up.
It's just a hot start. The duelist this time immediately dealing with that A push out. Just an overstacked angle. Kind of reminds me a bit of the pistol round, where Vitality only commits a couple players there. Foot's got their full forces and they're just overwhelmed. It's, for a second there, you believe that Durka and Chronicle, 2 of the best to ever play the game, might be able to take the 2v4, but Foot makes a great late rotation and holds the line. Yettajay, big plays again on the Cypher. The timeout. Vitality. A lot to talk about.
Trying to scrape together what they can here in this Coinbase win condition. See, it's going to be a mixed bag. The operator short there for Durka, but the things alongside it, that Stinger, that Spectre. Roughness in the purchase, and ults at the moment eluding them. They're 1 away from a Nightfall, 1 away from an Orbital Strike, but you've got that Showstopper still in the back pocket for Zeus, their own Orbital, and Cristalli nearly has a Nightfall of his own. So right now, it feels like Foot coming into this decently favored. What do they end up doing here? It's going to be the Outlaw for Sop at the end.
Yeah, so that means 3 players, including Durka with the op, are going to be vulnerable to the 1 tap from the Outlaw. It's something you got to consider.
He's glass cannon on it.
The early start to that round, so interesting for Vitality, where they gave up space at Dish. Now they're going to try to fight for it again, but Foot never even explored this part of the map in the previous round.
It's going to be this high-low, but Cristalli has overall been pretty good about sending the Prowlers here. Gotta get that scout, but I'm just going to have some into this one. No, Prowler will lead the charge. Perfect, just checking in on a pixel angle, but won't be rewarded with any sightlines.
Yeah, that's 2 guns, so you've got to re-clear with the Boombot here. You do not want to overcommit and just get mowed down. Look at how Vitality's setting up. Look how many players are right underneath drop. Oh, they don't commit. Okay.
They're pushing forward on this. At least the 2 of them are. Maybe just try to re-clear this position, but you don't have the Prowler, so it does become a risk. Now we'll just silently wait in that smoke, but Foot, they have evacuated the area.
So much of this is that information game, that back and forth.
They're getting plenty of it now. There's no counter scale forward from Yettajay to try to draw attention on that hall side of A, so this does allow for Vitality to start believing that this is just fully going to be a B hit. Forward trip has to be cleared out. Zeus, however, just bounds up in the tower. He's able to displace Chronicle. Finding that kill, the orbital strike, ensuring that there's no one else in position. Meanwhile, Tripwire able to get the spot out on the 2 players on the approach. Sociable is going to have to be the one paying attention to that as Sayonara leaps forward into the smoke. The push in, and he will have him caught off guard. Zeus, however, quickly trades it back. Maintaining the player advantage, 4 foot as they look to try to take this up to double digits. He's locked in, but Yetijay on the flank. Yumpy none the wiser, being heard, and he will be dealt with. Camera not quite where they wanted it to go. Unless Durka can line up a couple more critical shots. I don't know if they're going to be able to get this round wrangled. The peek out, Yetijay going to be taken down. Prophet is able to find one. Stop getting some damage through. Now orbital strike is going to be called in. He jumps forward. The shorty, it does not connect. And Vitality rescue the round.
And it's Durka's op leading the charge again. Finds huge kills there to keep foot pinned off of him. Just sociable.
It's a 2v4.
It is again. This time Vitality gets it to go. I was just gonna say, Prophet gets his kill, he's gonna get his ult. And he does. And it forces Sop out. The shorty not gonna be there, and whoa. Glad slams the fist.
2 sides of the coin. It's gonna be a frustrating one. Never want to be seeing your players giving up rounds like that when you're so far ahead of the start. Sayonara's going to be able to find one before he gets traded. Still decent value as Paint Shell exchange. Reveals there. Stali desperately trying to find this elimination. Eventually will be able to do so, but Prophet gets sociable at the same time. Keeps it into a 3v3, but Yumpy gets them back into the advantage position.
No more found you.
Yetijay try to go walking out of the smoke, and Durka has him dead to rights. The plant is there. It's another Paint Shell built up, and there is the shot. Durka is connecting with everything across these last several rounds, and Vitality are going to be 2 away from taking this series.
And that was a pivotal round because of the economies of both of these teams. A few players on each side very, very weak. And so for Foot, it's going to be a little bit shaky. Coming into the next one, there's still a little bit of money available for few players, but Sayonara there, taking that early contact. Prophet just crouching, holding the line at the door, buying that time. Yumpy as well, not overstaying his welcome, has learned his lessons from some of the early struggles.
Always going to be giving it. And that's a timeout now. Forced out of Foot. And you know that their backs are up against the wall in these last couple of rounds, slipping from their grasp in ways that are unaffordable. And you can see what that's doing to the coaching staff.
For sure. The cortisol levels are rising, no doubt about it, on both sides, I'm sure. But kind of a great round for Vitality in terms of just, they're starting to push out a little bit on the map. They're constantly either fighting for dish control or they have some kind of setup behind it. So as Foot, you got to talk about, maybe we got to try other contact fights on the map. Maybe we can work the map a little bit more to keep Vitality a little bit off guard. We could play a little bit of ante, like we saw with Vitality in their attacker side, where you kind of wait it out, see if you can get them to overstep their ground a little bit. And yeah, the economy here just not great for Foot. One player could afford a rifle. Sociable goes for the full armor and a stinger. So this is seemingly going to put Vitality up to match point, but Foot has already worked a little bit of magic in the Thrifties. See if they can get one here when they need it most.
Monstrous for them. Where's that operator? An ever-present consideration for them. Gotta figure out where the hell is Durka.
This is a full B read from the beginning for Vitality, but this is just a scoop of the orb early for Foot.
Zeus is 2 charges away from having that showstopper, but Chronicle, oh, he might just be able to make this an absolute nightmare for them. Scaling forward, gets himself tucked away over at bench, and is this going to be any consideration? The answer is absolutely not. He's going to play it patiently. Oh my God! Chronicle able to find the 2. Zeus does manage to turn back, find that elimination, but that just might be enough damage dealt. The jump across the shot going to be late. Durka able to reposition, gets himself the canteen. Trying to go for that recheck, but Showstopper doesn't get the kill. Sayonara stays alive. Ult is going to be popped, but he doesn't have anywhere to go, so Castali is able to collect that. Peek out, it's just a tap, the bandit in the hand for Yedajay. Turka, the paint shell gonna be chucked in. Pushes them forward. A gun collected, a 2v2. And how in the hell have Foot gotten it to this position? Swoop out down, Cristali will be taken down, and Yedajay has to do it all. Finds the first immediately, looks to reposition. Slotting up in the tower, but just a matter of time before Durka will get the assessment, will have the read, taps it, is dialed in. Yedajay, does he bite the bait? The answer for now is no. Plays it wisely, plays it patiently. Another tap, a swap of the gun, and now the scale forward. Durka thinking that he's been re-wrapped on. But Yedajay just continues to not buy it. He knows he's not sticking it. Rides the rope back down again, and Durka will just look to escape, try to retain the operator, and Yedajay claims him as the spike erupts. There's a monstrous Red Bull clutch be found. Foot, once again, 1 round away.
What a recovery here for Foot. You lose 2 players early. The Kron's tucked in position. This could have gone so much worse for them. They're able to turn just in time, and then the showstopper doesn't get the kill. But then Sayonara panics, goes for the ult when there's another layer there, and Cristali takes him down. Yedajay, so reliable, so smart, absolutely outthinks Durka the whole way there.
And now it's Vitality, the ones that are struggling as far as the economy is concerned, for the north side. Crunch! They're able to find 2, showstopper gonna be chucked in. Doesn't need to find anything, they've already found the kills, they found the spike. Chronicle has found Sop as well. What a response for Vitality to just run at them to up the pace. They absolutely sucker punch Foot. For good measure. Depth will be invested, spotting out both players and they can just continue to pan out. Stay implanted on top of this spike.
Em ghi 4.000 đam cây xa đó.
Gotta make sure that.
Thì anh nghĩ tại sao em đánh nó còn nửa cái máu, còn một giọt máu. Giết em đâu có hồi máu mà.
Still a ton of time left on the clock, but fighting for this stack, you would think nigh undoable.
A 3-player, high low. Sop would have to do something incredible with this outlaw, have them lined up.
30 seconds
Only one available to them, something on the side of the map, and yep, the opening shot will not even
biết rồi, từ từ tôi hết chiếu rồi.
They up the pace, they catch Foot completely unawares, and now they're up to match point.
I love the calling today here from Yampi. He's had a couple rounds where he's completely fooled Foot, and this is another one. Get that early flash out, tons of value there for the Phoenix, for Sayonara. We might be saying goodbye to Foot.
There's nothing else for them. The money just is not there. A Guardian, the best that they're able to find. The Stinger's going to be in hand. This is going to have to be a concise and clean round for them. 2 to go to try to take this into overtime. And for now,
Key point here could be only 1 player, 1 tap to that outlaw.
The updraft. Does he check down? Lands right there above Sayonara's head. Lands back over to that dish side. Vitality now encroaching. Sayonara. He's just able to find Yedajay, who's just none the wiser. Sop will be able to come away with 1. Zeus gets a kill on the Sayonara, but for now the weapons are going to be unrecoverable. They have to just stick with what they have. Couple shots gonna be flying through. The 1-2 punch. Durka takes out Social, takes out Zeus. Sop now trying to swing the corner. Chronicle holds his own.
Anh tôi nó phải khổ đến mức nào mình cứ sổ số.
Stalling needing to find 3. Durka down to a sliver. Time starting to be on his side. Swings out, can get the 1, but nothing more. Foot playing close, but Vitality standing taller. 13 to 10, 2 to 1. They're going to the playoffs.
What a recovery here for Vitality after getting absolutely bodied on Haven and going to Fracture, a map that they have struggled on. They have had some rough games. They have lost to this Foot team here this year. This time around, they are in control. They have a great recovery on the attacker's side. and do very well on the defender side. Some good change-ups, some great plays. Everybody having their shining moments on Vitality. Foot as well. We've seen what this team can do. They're incredible.
Foot continuing to look fearsome, but Vitality just above a couple of those rounds. Going the way of Vitality and costing Foot dearly, both on Fracture as well as on that Pearl. Both of those maps were incredibly winnable for this team. Have to suspect that that is going to be lingering in their heads as they get ready to prepare for whoever their next opponent is going to be. But for Vitality, they get to take a breather. Playoffs is secured. We will be seeing a hell of a lot more of this team here at Masters London.
And I doubt anyone's going to want to play them. You would think that this is going to be the last team picked as we go into those playoffs. The clutches in particular today, again for Vitality. I mean, the experience, the tenure, the firepower, the brains on this team are finally starting to show that potential that we all thought they had at the beginning of the year.
I see Vitality playing the way that they did in those two maps. You know, Haven's definitely some things to still be worked on. And I just feel like Paper Rex are going to potentially do the dumbest thing and elect to play against them. Time will tell. We'll see who's going to be able to make it through. But for now, let's send it down and hear from Vitality in the Verizon post-match interview.
This is a very popular man the Vitality fans have turned out today. Chronicle, I'm not going to photobomb, but I would love to talk to you. How relieved are you to have finished that win?
Honestly, very good. Like, regional matchups are always the hardest ones on international tournaments. I know by myself, especially against this team in 2024, I had rough losses against them. But yeah, right now we secured playoffs. Like, we are going super great, I would say. Maybe some teams are scared of us as well. We are doing great.
It got a bit scary for you guys at times, though, I have to say, in that series. Do you think you would have won Pearl, your first map, if you hadn't got that second half 2v1 clutch?
100% we wouldn't win it. Like, I mean, that was a really hard game, and like that one crucial round was like actually worth it. Like, after that, we figured out what to do against them, and also, like, I mean, that one additional round like could went us into overtimes. Like, if we, I don't know, had bad economy or something else. I mean, you know, I can discuss for 10,000 years what if. But it doesn't matter. This 1v2 helped us, and I'm happy with that.
You have qualified for playoffs, so congratulations on that one. But what does this Vitality need to do now to level up to actually be a team that can win Masters?
We will use this last few days of practice, like coming to the playoffs as maximum as possible. Like, we will try to do our best to fix up all those mistakes, especially we had on Haven. And yeah, we will see.
We will see. Thank you so much, Chronicle. Thank you.
Cái team đó thường phải khống chế hắn luôn à.
One HP. Nice! Let's go, boys! Let's go! Sop did on Stinger, Sop! Unbelievable Stinger player! Hey! What is this city? Hey, all of you! Sop, where are you looking? Sop! Bro! Maybe change your nickname to fucking Water!
Yep, that's me. You're probably wondering how I ended up here. It all started when I got to the FIFA World Cup, and wow, thousands of Verizon customers.
Oh, you got the free Verizon tickets too?
No, I'm with amazing seats.
I'm sorry. Okay.
And even pitch-side access.
Are you? David Beckham.
A Verizon customer.
This used to be for players. Now it's for Verizon customers. No one gets you closer. Only on Verizon.
In esports, legendary moments demand speed, scale, and soul. Players and fans bring the heart. Technology brings it to life. Every frame, every stat, every decisive play. In partnership with the Valorant Champions Tour, we're driving digital innovation that empowers the esports ecosystem to keep expanding. So players can focus on the game, and fans can focus on the moment.
and it goes like this. Straight from the underground.
Thì mình thiếu phép. Rồi cái này đi. Thiếu phép cũng được, cái đó. Cần gì để cái từ thế này. I need more water. Trời ơi, tôi thấy lỗi tôi như cái quần què đấy. Rồi là cái này. À, lỗi kiếm bình minh nè. Lỗi kim cương kiếm bình minh nè. Ai biết nó có kim cương sao? Lắm. Mã phai, tàu cuối cùng. Here come the big boy. I'm dead. Lâm dead. I'm dead. Thì nó chết. Nhưng mà giờ ta chết rồi đúng không? Nên là như nhau hết rồi. Đầu vãi luôn. Kìa nói gì đâu. Ai chả biết gầm lăng nó đâu.
We have a lot of we know how we play. We know we have anti on each other team, so it's gonna be a lot of preparation. As soon as we get to the hotel, we're gonna have to like talk about the maps, and of course like re-see what we had against them on EWC. So it's just gonna be who prepares better and who's shooting harder.
Well, it sounds like King is sick of playing against NRG, but if they do it one more time today, he gets his wish. He gets to play an EMEA team in the form of Vitality over in playoffs. Now, we did have a chat with him again, now that he slept on it and, you know, absorbed the win from yesterday. Let's see what he thought today.
Jen here with King of Lev. King, any vulnerabilities you're looking to exploit from the side of Energy?
Honestly, because we lost to them, we learned how they play. We got a grip on the stuff they do. So we prepared yesterday, and I think we were cooking so far.
Right, so the recent encounter, blessing in disguise.
Yep.
Good. Cook.
Well, I know Owner likes to cook, but it doesn't mean the food's really good. Well, we'll have to see. Energy did surprise us yesterday. They picked Pearl against XLG just when we had questions about their map pool depth. In fact, Minnie, you pointed this out and you wanted to highlight something about Energy's Pearl attack.
Yeah, I think that it was the fact that I was very surprised by the map pick, right? They didn't look so strong on it in the past, but what I really like is to actually develop some of their ideas, and that is a really good sign going through this tournament. So the round I wanted to show here is Energy versus XLG in the last game. And what I was criticizing last time is with this composition, they got 2 drones in their team, but they weren't using them very effectively. But in this game, they started doing some really interesting things. So if I full zoom here, what we're going to see is Brock over this side of the map, literally just droning B long. You might be like, Minnie, drone B long, isn't that pretty normal stuff? Is it that basic? And the answer is yes. And the reason for that is if we clear it out, this drone is the only drone that can stop the jet on top of this box there. That's the only drone that can see no man here, and that means that you can control the B long of this map. So you're able to get both A main and B long at the same time. Now, no man does cool the bluff here completely. No man's here because NRG make a little mistake here. They don't put this smoke up. NRG aren't able to get a lurk down into this map. But so no man calls this bluff, he starts rotating it away, and if we go up into the full zoom, we see that he's ran off this side of the map. They've left B complete, there's 5 there. So a slight mistake there from NRG, but the intention was good. Now, later on, what I loved is that NRG then adapted. They then thought, well, no man's clearly cooling our buff here. Let's try and kill him up on that box. So this time around, we see the drone come out once again. We see the dissipate this time timed correctly. And if you saw 2 little players just going across there, they're going to peek out on a timing to try and catch No Man. No Man overconfident now because of that fake from before. And this time, the easiest kill of Madder's life there. And then NRG are straight up onto this B side. So I think big picture coming out of this, I think that what I really liked about Energy is they're showing more depth and improvements in their map pool and strategy. If you mirror that against Lev right now, Lev are doing a lot of the same strats from the past 2 months. And so when we talk about depth and going further into this tournament, I have a lot more faith in Energy right now.
And I think especially when we consider coming into that veto yesterday, we had thought that Energy were maybe hiding their better maps by picking the Pearl into an opponent that was dibbed as maybe weaker coming into this tournament. And of course, when we think back to that series that they had against XLG, they had to have a comeback on Lotus to be able to close out on a 2-0. And I think a key part of that was Kiko. The rest of his team were quite literally in his backpack throughout that series. I think coming into today, they're facing up against tougher opponents now that we're moving on in this Swiss stage. We need to see all players on form on that stage today.
Yeah, that's right. I think resilience is another theme for this team as well. All that experience on the global stage, coming back from a 0-6 on that second map against XLG, against that iconic triple Senti comp is huge for NRG. Now, after their match against XLG, Ethan, their IGL, had a quick debrief in our HyperX player moment. Let's check it out.
Hey guys, Ethan from Energy here. Let's get it. Just came off a nice clean 2-0 versus XLG. I say clean, but second map was a little close. Had a nice little comeback. I think 7 rounds in a row, 8 rounds in a row to close it out. So happy with that. We knew they would run that Lotus comp of theirs with 3 Sentinels, and they definitely gave us a run for our money. A little harder than we thought it would be.
Still a world away. No man not reading Brock's position whatsoever. He goes completely on red. Immediately finds some kills. And still going to be invested. Doesn't even need it. He's got the Odin in it.
In Valorant, you know, you can only lose twice. So if you lose your first one, you're on edge the whole time, and that would be nothing new for us, lower bracket, but it's good to start off strong. Yeah, mentality coming into Masters London, obviously, always to win for us, but also to prepare us a little bit for the end of the year. I don't think we were close to our peak form in Santiago, so gonna work on that and hopefully show here.
Here with Ethan of Energy. Ethan, you guys had a recent encounter with Lev. What are some challenges that they might present for you today?
They have a lot of young, aggressive players, so we're just gonna have to be ready for it.
Who's gonna take care of the young guns?
I think we'll all pitch in, but hopefully Gio continues his streak from last game.
Okay, now thank you so much.
Well, Ethan's talking about the young guns on Lev, but they have some of their own firepower. We have to mention Kiko. He went absolutely bananas, dropping 60 kills in 2 maps and setting a new 2-map record in VCT Global. Do you guys know who was holding the previous record?
I guess Durka?
It's not Durka. It's Tens with 54, and it was just beaten in this event by this man right here. The Englishman, absolutely.
Yeah, that start at the bottom there is incredible. 37% of the kills in his team was him. I think that is great for Kiko, but I have a bit of question mark over NRG's form right now. We need to see the rest of these players stepping up. They are championship caliber, and I believe that even in a game where they're not firing as hard as usual, being able to take it over the line shows class. It shows world championship kind of mentality. I don't expect to see that again. I expect to see them all coming up together now.
Yeah, it's absolutely ridiculous. 370 ACS. He's #1 on the leaderboard at the moment. And it wasn't just that, it was all the 3Ks he was putting up. He was never just getting 1 kill in a round, it was always multiple. I think he ended up with 10 by the end. And I think for me, impressive to come into your home turf and put up a performance like that.
I am hoping to see him on the Phoenix today, though. We were playing it up as in Kiko, the British guy on the British agent, but we didn't get to see that. He didn't need it last time, but hopefully we get to see it.
We were unable to get that far, but hopefully today we do. Now, we had another game yesterday, our first 3-mapper in Masters London, and that's because things started off shaky for Lev against Global Esports, rolling them on Pearl. Sato especially wasn't playing like himself. He was struggling here on this map, but he woke up later on to carry them on Pearl and Split. We could hear him scream, laugh, hold his hand up for high fives, and be left totally hanging.
I think the main thing from Sato that I was impressed with yesterday was the showmanship, right? Soaking up that environment, soaking up that global experience, and showing his real character. I think it's really good attitude to have, that not letting that first map kind of get to him and get inside his head, and then go on to just enjoy the moment and put up those good performances in map 2 and 3.
I love what he was saying in the post-match interview too about the team has a goldfish mentality. A little Ted Lasso reference there, where after a little bit of a bad time, maybe just forgetting it immediately like a fish would, going on to the next map. I think that is what this Lev team needs, because they have a lot of inexperience in the team. If they start to feel those jitters at all, they got to remember that they are fish.
Goldfish memory and good vibes from Sato. It's definitely the formula for Lev's success so far. And are you expecting him to... I would love to see the head-to-head with him on the Phoenix versus Kiko.
I think it's disgusting. Like, I think they're both like 250 ACS Phoenixes right now. If I had to choose one or the other, I wouldn't be able to do it. Let's just have them both on the Phoenix every time.
Let's just do it. Let's just do it. All right, well, you guys are mentioning Lev's style of playing. A lot of set trap plays, especially on Fracture. Minnie, tell us what you think.
I think they're very good, and I love the fact that Lev have these preset plays, but this one in particular is one that I saw 2 months ago as well, Billy. So what do you think about that?
Yeah, do you know what? I think that the combination of utility was really well. It's great to see that this set strat team is coming into the event with set strats, but like you mentioned, Minnie, if they're doing things that they were doing only a couple of months ago, it does almost raise a flag. Of course, they've not played against NRG in VCT Americas. It's just a question of, how much footage of NRG got on that.
I think the key thing is Lev do understand that they are doing this style. And I think when King was talking about going back and doing the prep, it's thinking about how can they use their style and fake off of it. Maybe throwing that breach stun and doing something else on the map. That is the way that they like to do the kind of anti-preparation. But when I was talking with some of the analysts yesterday, Sliggy and TMV were having a field day saying that we could have predicted every single round. But it's up to NRG today to see whether they can do that in the server.
Well, map veto is going to be really important today, and we saw a lot more revealed by Energy yesterday. We got a 1v1 showdown in our skirmish side select, and the duel today is going to be between Mada and Neon. Very good selections here. Neon has been so hyped up coming into London. Let's see how he's going to fare against Mada.
I was going to start saying Mada with the op, that's dirty, but they did decide to actually go fire there, so I'm not too disappointed, but op in the skirmish, I'm not a fan.
Yeah, I think it's kind of a red flag if someone's pulling out an operator in the skirmish, unless it's obviously pre-agreed like you were mentioning, Minnie. I think we need to kind of speak about the maps that we could have in this veto as well, right? I'm curious to see what Lev is going to play. Oh, Mada actually won that pretty dominantly. That's not so great for Neon when you consider things. But yeah, I think we need to start thinking about what are those map selects and bans going to be.
Yeah, in fact, we get to see it right now. Let's take a look at the map veto.
Hello and welcome. Today we're gonna do the Energy versus Leviathan map veto, and Energy won the skirmish, so they are picking their side. Team D. Alright, which means Leviathan banning first. Breeze is banned, and now Energy is banning. Ban Split. Split is banned as well, and Leviathan picking their first map. Alright, and side for Ascent. Defense. Defense. Pick Lotus. And pick Lotus. Alright, and Leviathan picks it. Alright. Then we have Fracture Haven and Pearl left, Leviathan
Người dắt lên công thần.
Okay.
Lên gì vậy?
Haven is banned, Decider is Pearl, and Leviathan picking their side.
Defense. Ông lên mặt nạ xấu.
Defense. So let me give you a quick recap. We start with Ascent, Energy defense. Then we have Lotus, Leviathan attacks, and if we go to the Decider map, which is Pearl, Leviathan defense. Everything correct? Thank you guys, good luck.
All right, we're getting to see some of the maps we were just discussing, but we are going to be starting with an Ascent.
Yeah, very similar map veto to last time, but Lev decided to go onto this Ascent, which is beautiful. I called them the best Ascent team in the world at the moment, and so that first map is a must-win for them. I think going deeper into this map pool though, I think Lotus and Pearl, I would heavy favorite Energy. So that first map is a must-win for Lev.
And what do you think, Billy?
Yeah, I agree. I think that when we look at Lev, like that was their permaban. Lotus in Americas, so I think the Energy being able to get that, especially how good they looked against XLG the other day as well. I think the later stages, I agree, it starts to favor Energy.
Quick Preds?
2-1 Energy.
2-1 Energy.
All right, well, I'm going for Lev. I'm going for the Young Guns today. Today, we get to advance a second team into playoffs. It's our Young Guns on Lev, some of the freshest and most hyped rookies versus our reigning champs, NRG. So everyone, buckle up, because the Battle of Americas begins right now.
There's little micro things that Energy is doing here on the map that are really impressive.
I don't think we were close to our peak form in Santiago. Gonna work on that and hopefully show it here. We're not here to mess around. We came to London to win.
Eu estou jogando no palco internacional. É algo muito bom para mim porque é algo que eu queria desde muito pequeno, desde que eu tinha 4 anos. Eu sempre sonhei com isso.
I would say this meta suits us a little better than the Neon meta. I think Lev from Americas was a very top team, and I'd like to see them play now. I'd like to see
Mano, então eu acho que sempre eu achei a Energy time muito bom. Os caras também são campeão mundial. Então, se os caras têm títulos e coisas assim, é porque eles estão trabalhando muito. Eu espero que seja mais 2-1. Acho que eles são bons e vão dar batalha contra nós, mas nós vai ganhar obviamente.
Just so you know, you're just our stepping stone to playoffs, and we're excited to play you, and we'll be ready as well.
Real bad boy, man, a G to the end. Bow. Enter. Shut down race from when I enter. 10 guest list, gonna need extra. Big entrance, bigger than wrestler. Gal in the front going on extra. Some of them come, some of them extra. Mosh pit crew holding the center. Big
undefeated NRG since 2024. But today is a Lev that NRG has never met before. They haven't met Sato, they haven't met Spike or Blows, and they haven't met America's greatest offer, Neon.
Yeah, Neon going onto that first map is crucial. He's going to be on that Chamber of Ascent, and it's Lev's best map. Look out for them on the attack side. He's going to be going deep into middle consistently, cutting off rotations there. And the defense, though, that's what I like the most. He's going to be on one side of the map, holding down, trying to get a pick, dipping out for the retake. The other side of the map's going to be a fiery trap setup. It's whether NRG are going to bait out those trap setups or not on this ascent.
And this is the thing with Lev. They've had such a clear identity with their compositions all throughout their map pool. That double Julius paired up with the Chamber. Now, I will say Spike and Neon were the kind of players that we were looking at yesterday to be able to step up. Spike and Sato on that double Julius, struggling in the very initial beginning of that series. Will they take to the stage today to play against this NRG?
That is definitely the question, and you can't forget, while we are so excited about Lev and all of these rookies, NRG are the reigning champs from Paris. All this experience coming through, they've widened their map pool. Minnie, why are you predicting their win today?
I think it's because their map pool is improving, and I think their style, like GE's, works extremely well into Lev. They are a game plan style team with the players and experience to back that up. If Ascent goes NRG's way, I might call it a day and go home, because they need to win this map.
The question for NRG is, though, Kiko, the performance they had, that is not something that can be consistent every single day, surely. Prove me wrong, honestly, prove me wrong. But at the same time, the other 4 players on that roster need to step up to the stage, need to show why they lifted that Champs Trophy back in Paris.
That is a great question about Kiko. We're calling him the hometown hero because they had the London buff. London, do you believe in Kiko today? All right, we got some support, but that doesn't sound like it's gonna be enough for a buff, guys.
Yeah, I think as well, like when you're NRG and you're coming into this one, you're going up against Lev that had those 4 rookies. We saw how hungry they looked on the stage in their debut performance yesterday. And honestly, if they can keep that confidence up coming into today, I don't think anyone is going to be able to take them down.
Yeah, we saw Coach Bronco there yapping away about his notes, about the game plan, and that is what this matchup is about once again. I know we talked about it yesterday with Global, but I think that NRG are a completely different ball game. They have got the experience. Ethan literally has never come below top 3 at one of these global events with one he's qualified to. This is a world-class roster that Lev has to deal with today.
Well, King was saying they have prepared something special today. Let's see what we have.
Nothing crazy out of the ordinary for their Ascent composition. Still the same as far as things goes. For NRG, I believe they were running the double wall composition previously on Ascent back in their time in Americas with that Sage and Vise, but it looks as though they're opting to potentially have that double Julius, that Kiko on Phoenix. Maybe we are actually going to get to see that Kiko Sato head-to-head like we've been begging for, Minnie.
Yeah, I'm liking this comp change from NRG. They didn't look fully confident on the previous comps that they have been playing. Going with that Phoenix, that has been a highlight for me in this meta so far. Getting Sato and Kiko firing off each other is going to be great. I think, like I said before, Lev on the attack, they love to get this chamber into deep positions towards middle, and I'm very curious to see how NRG are going to battle. Is it going to be just Mada towards the middle of the map doing that kind of stuff? Are they going to be doing some trap plays, maybe with this Vice, the Flash? They have plenty of options here, and I'm curious as to see what Bonkar and Ethan's game plan is here.
Yeah, this is definitely the question. And Lev, you know, they only have one night to try to prepare for NRG, but they do know each other really well, even if they haven't really been playing each other in Americas, Billy.
Well, yeah, like we mentioned, these 2 rosters haven't met in Americas just yet, which is why I think today makes it even more exciting, because we get to see that here on the global stage for these 2 teams. I think when I'm looking at NRG starting on this defense, Brock on the Odin going to be pivotal here, I think, especially. I think if they can utilize the weaponry diversity to their advantage when you're talking about Mada on the Operator, Brock on the Odin, these different things will hopefully go in their favor.
Well, taking us through VCT Americas to find out who the second playoffs is gonna be, it's Mitchman and Tom Biz.
Well, these teams got a taste of each other, but now it's time for the main course here on LAN. And Tom, it looks like we're eating good. Sato up against Kiko on the Phoenix to kick it off. You couldn't ask for a better entree.
Yeah, Kiko's first match was insane. Like, there's 60 kills across 2 maps. If there was a third map, he almost certainly would have broken a record.
But on the other side of things, Sato, like, making it to that international stage and having that sort of a run immediately, like whether he was on that Phoenix or on the Waylay, he was super impressive. I do agree with what was said on the desk, though. I think that this first map is a must if Leviathan are going to have a chance in this series. Their ascent has been phenomenal, but they are still against NRG.
Well, we're starting out here with an attack side for Leviathan, and indeed, when we talk about the pool, we'll have this conversation with Lotus and Pearl up next. I think it's fair to say Leviathan need to show up here. The start sees Neon almost go down. A wall keeps him alive as he'll breathe deep into the round. NRG have a bit of info right off rip. They see the chamber. Not too much can be done with that. With no further contact coming in, you have to expect NRG are going to get curious and look for some info soon. The flash is primed and ready.
Here.
And, oh, it looks like they're going to just concede that after hearing a bit of noise.
Of course, a big part of this Phoenix is going to be the grasping of those orbs, giving Sato the extra lease of life. But in this pistol, it's very slow and controlled. We talk about Leviathan and their flair. They are taking their sweet time and moving their way back towards Scuba on the other side, still with his thorns available. With how little time is left, these could cause issues.
This could definitely be a problem. You can see 25 on the clock. Thorns still up and online. And now Leviathan start to make their way towards the site, but no one is there. Brock's the closest. He's up in heaven, and even that flash could have been a chance for him to strike, but Scoop is the one to pick one off on the side. Now, advantage sat in their favor. Time to prime for that retake, and it'll take a while they allow Mata to group up with the rest of the squad.
Man down. Flash from Vice is gone, but they still have one remaining for Kiko. Counter stun to slow them down, and the trade's coming back already. That attack side just dealing death, but even still going back with just one man standing. The IGL to try and turn things, and the swing out from King was a little bit risky, but he's going to take the fight and win it. It's a pistol once again for Leviathan, a big part of their game yesterday, and they found another.
Spike scene, huge stun from him. That is what changes the play here. Instead of NRG coming down like a waterfall, it's a couple of droplets at a time. Much easier to manage for that attack side. And it was that timing. The second the Phoenix Flash bloomed, it came in. Coming so close in the end, you can see if there wasn't that bit of disruption, this could be a very different early half. Instead, Leviathan 1-0 start, and NRG classics in their hand now. You can see it is going to be an eco. No, 4 spies like in the previous game. Expected here on the defense, but it looks like they're going to try a crunch on mid. A little bit of a bait set up on short.
2 down.
Some serious opportunity, especially with the star there. Nice well to change the game, but they're going to isolate those fights very nicely on the attack.
Still further aggression coming through from the defense.
One enemy
trying to work with the strength in numbers, and already managing to get a couple of kills. Neon, of course, was only playing with the Headhunter, but on 5 HP has now retrieved a rifle. Of course, the chamber kind of allows them just to pad these a little bit, with less weaponry having to be purchased and still finances to rebuy back up into the next round if they keep these alive. You can see for Brock, the only goal is to trap one. If they walk into his crosshair, maybe he gets a kill. That's a weapon onto the ground. If they go the other way, unfortunately, well, maybe you're giving an extra orb away anyway, or you're just going to go down to the spike.
30 seconds
see
left.
That spike's moving to the right side. They're coming in the right direction. Really, you can't expect much more than damage from Brock here. That's got to be the highest bar that he could reach.
Chạy ra tao quy bắn chết à, còn có máu.
There's the first. That's all he's going to get. Decent stuff from NRG, considering the round that was in it. Leviathan started out by dealing with the short play, but the crunch on mid worked wonders. It's still a 2-0. And what's been interesting so far, Tom, is just how slow those attack rounds have been from Leviathan. Even there, they're in a 3v1. They waited a minute. They are very happy to slow this down on the attack, and for NRG, it's very much going to limit their early aggression. They're enabled to go for it, although we could be seeing some towards B.
mentioned it on the desk that they like to sort of have that implementation of Neon, like planting him in position and then giving him an opportunity to try and find those openers. It's what made that chamber so deadly to deal with. Kiko's timing the flash is good, but he's caught himself as well. He'll just have to fall back, and bear in mind that Sato has that run it back available for him into this round if he needs it.
Just a little bit too far away for that flash to land as needed. Second one fired out here towards A main. Nobody spotted. Viatan had the spike there, but much further back. And again, this is going to be a slow attack side. A minute on the clock as they were just outside the A site, but now a change in direction again. Phoenix roll the blaze allows them to cross, or at least it should. But Big Boy Brock's already come in with one. The reveal broken right away, but look at this sneaky play by Scuba. He almost got one. If King wasn't mid-TP, he'd be out of the round. And it's already advantage for NRG. Leviathan luckily make it to the site without too many more fights. They'll get themselves a plan.
30 seconds left.
I don't see from Mada though. I think he's cleared all of B main and wrapped back around. Of course, it's something they'll have to clear again, but it means they know there's no one flanking. Sato though! Oh, past it 3 immediately! Just looks to take over the round. He almost did it all in his ult. That was on a timer. And guess what? He's still alive! An ace to bring a third round home! This is why we're excited about this guy!
Well, that was a bit of a slow start for Leviathan. They were happy to run the clock down, but now when the time was against them with this ult, they end up picking up most of the team. And finding it all in the end. A gorgeous play for Sato. A huge round for Leviathan as well. Remember, they made it out of the last with 2 rifles. It means reinvestment having to be made potentially. If they were to come in strong in that round, it means risks for the early half. There was a chance for NRG, but that has been stolen away. And then now Leviathan are going to run away with the lead. 3-0, likely a 4th. Oh, a bit dangerous here for King. He's under a lot of pressure. That paranoia saved him, and luckily, he's got teammates close by. Spike scene in here in a flash. And now this is dangerous once again. 7 shots left, go for the flash! Oh, Shadow! Somehow gets away with that anyways. If he falls there, this round is competitive. It may still be if Scuba can pull out a big play, but they're waiting for him. In fact, no, they're walking into him. This is dangerous with the bandit up this close. One found, and Neon luckily finishes it off. An easy 4th round it should have been, but a bit more labored in the end.
How is that closer than the last one? I was gonna say, like,
there's a player didn't aim.
How often have you seen someone get 4 kills with a run it back? I don't think I've ever seen it. Sato definitely something special. Oh, now 3. Yeah, that was a bit more of a nervous woo. We are going to see the purchase coming back up. NRG wanted to get back on the horse. They've at least kept the economy a little bit more honest, but there's still quite a lot of credits available. Their ultimate's building up. It's whether or not Lev can keep this momentum going with an operator now into the hands of Neon. This is normally where he's the most dangerous.
Splendid start for Leviathan so far. A 4-0 lead. Winning this round would skyrocket them into this map, and the one that we said is so crucial for them to take. Nice opening as well by Spike Scene. Leviathan have got to be on cloud 9. This was a fake towards A, but it's worked for the pick, and now they move towards B. Let's jump into the cars.
Tá, já pra escada, já pra escada. Tudo bem, volta, só volta. Calma, bloqueia ele. Posso abrir com você aqui. Tô aranha, já, tô aranha. Esperando você. Vamos voltar pra A, viado. Tô abrindo. Tá. Tô abrindo pra base. Sai aqui. Nada, tô indo pra A. Vai ficar aqui, viado. Mano, quer voltar pra B ainda, viado? Vamos fazer um fake A ainda e voltar B. Fica bem então, Bruno. Eu não tenho nada, Blue, pra fakear. Mais vamos lá. Só acelerar aqui, acho. Vai acelerar? Dominar.
There's still players here. It looks like they still want to go towards this A site with the spike. There could be some challenges before the spike even starts to be planted. Ethan thought about it, but he's going to give it up.
Oh, timing could have been worse for Scuba. Maybe still didn't expect the player to be lurking behind. Those two have, however, been caught by the ultimate. That gives Ethan a great opportunity. A shorty in the corner, and he's been able to clear. It leaves Neon. That smoke now fading. He's going to have to swing this eventually. They're trying to bait him into the fight, and with an operator, that's not the gun you want to grab. Well, oh, he even tries to go through it. But Matter is watching, waiting. And NRG are finally going to get themselves their first round onto the board.
Got a second that they saw him jump peeking in A main. That was it, pretty much done and dusted. Leviathan. Again, with how this round started, it looked splendid. This was a fake from Spike Z. Finds the pick. Drags, rotates to the A side, opens up the other side of the map, but a little slower in terms of the exec. Still make it in, get the plant. But it was Ethan staying alive up top. Just that split-second decision not to try to punish, not to dive out onto the side. I think it was the call from Scuba that Steel Garden was going to come in. That's giving them a round. But of course, with how Leviathan made it here, they can buy up again. Probably again. Especially as the rounds go on and you see these ultimates, like the one for Neon coming online. Now he's only got his operator, and there's one on the other side, holding, waiting, TP taken, and it's stuck all the way. King's now isolated from the rest of the squad. They've got to go through Mata, and that they do. He's on the floor as King tries to hold on for dear life, tries to buy time, and allows Sato to trade. The ult pop tier keeps Sato alive. Even with the spams, he'll go down, but Brock's got more work to do. Eating him alive for 2, but Sato answers back. And with Scuba, the final match ending! It looked like the round was over, but he's got a chance, and his opponent's low.
Má cái ấn không có ăn mà Unity hả?
Oh my god, he's just sitting.
Just waiting, but Sato hits the shot anyway! Sato did the exact thing that Scuba wanted him to do, and he still predicted the position. He is 12-4. Within 6 rounds, and yeah, call a timeout there. The counter to this man just doesn't see.
Quay mày lỗi. Đừng bắt tao phải chấp lỗi mà. Tao không mua được đồ luôn rồi. Chết mẹ ơi, tao không mua, tao mới chết luôn á, tao mới chết luôn á, tao không mua được đồ luôn rồi. Không phải cái lồ nó lồ. Tao không mua được đồ, chết mẹ ơi. Tao thắt trận cái nha, thắt trận cái. Lỗi đúng không? Mẹ thôi đi. Đi rồi. Bán không được luôn, không bán được luôn. Không phải vô mạng, nếu vô mạng nãy giờ đâu có coi stream Valo được. Nó nếu phải vô mạng cái này vô game. Cái này vô game luôn á, vô mạng cặt. Phải lùn cân bãi chỉ số. Đó là con mẹ gì mình cũng có sắp xỉ đâu đó 41 có chị 41 xuyên kháng phép, nếu còn có gian bị thêm xuyên kháng luôn. Đồng What the fuck, flash. Nó cấu mình không được chơi game luôn mà.
Enemy double kill. Ace.
Nó có tất cả gì, tất cả mọi con đều lao lên sợ. Khi thằng nào bây giờ sắp chết đó. Nó còn thở được.
An ally has been slain. The sweet smell of
Cái địch. Chắc đến lúc bỏ khóa khổng đi rồi.
shut down. Shut down.
My potential is limitless. Keep an eye out for any
Thành thật con cạp. Mày thành hình con cạp. Mày dính lên ti tao là mày chết. Mẹ tao 50%, tao gần 80% xuyên kháng phép rồi. Cái kháng phép mày vô dụng ấy luôn. Người nó bắn đầu phải luôn. Đi.
An enemy has been slain. An enemy has been slain.
Quá ngon luôn.
An ally has been slain.
People fear what they cannot understand. Stay safe out there.
Không có rời được, mày thấy tao bị dính dưới CC không nè. Mẹ nó bảo mình rờ luôn Khánh rờ luôn, mẹ mình bị kéo như một con chó bảo còn rờ phải luôn.
Your inhibitor has been destroyed.
Má nó cứ chạy xong rồi nó bắn không chạy tiếp chứ được cái gì cơ. Đâu công mà nó bắn xong chạy vòng vòng mà. Có giày đéo đâu. Bắn nó khỏng rồi. Là cái xác của Vene. Mẹ nó ui nó hồi quá nha, nó cứ
vô mặt mình, nó kéo mình lại là hết.
An ally has been slain. An ally has been slain. Enemy double kill.
Mà đéo track nó luôn mà.
Your turret has been destroyed.
It's smaller than the diagram.
Thôi con về là ngon rồi. Người ta chỉ cần 4 gói trang bị vậy đó, 4 gói trang bị kim cương cho 30% cái hiệu ứng thôi. Vậy cái hết.
It's smaller than the diagram.
Không có sạch. Con AD team nó chỉ không có đánh được mỗi con ven thôi, tao không sốc chết được con ven đâu. Anh coi bao nhiêu xuyên kháng của mình? 31-66%. Là nãy giờ là em không có chỉ số nào xuyên kháng luôn á, em toàn là địt mẹ giáp với giáp. Em có em lụm xuyên kháng á là anh hiểu là nãy giờ nó tệ lúc nào đó. Ở đây
Enemy double kill.
Because William is the reason that Sato's on that stage, because you were the one who told him to start streaming and get discovered playing Valorant.
Yes, when we first started playing on Dream Beta, I told him like, oh, you should really start streaming because people have to know who you are. Because when he started playing, everyone called him cheater because he was really good at very beginning. So I told him like, oh, start streaming. But he was kind of scared to show his face, so he only showed his mouse. And one day he got raided in the middle of the night. So he started calling me like, oh, bro, there's like 1,000 people like watching me right now. What am I supposed to do? And he was really scared because the next day he had to go to class. And he was like, oh, what should I do? I was like, oh, you should keep playing, right?
So, William, I've got to ask you quickly then, does it surprise you how incredibly well he's performing in front of many more people here in London and obviously thousands of people around the world?
Yes, of course. I think it's amazing that he has this great mentality. Always he had like this older kind of vibe to him. But like it's a dream come true for me because I always wanted to play not only Valorant because I came from Counter-Strike. And then when Valorant launched, I was like, oh, you should really pursue this career.
And he has, and you were right to get him to do it because we're ready to go into the second half and currently Leviathan are in the lead. Thank you, William.
Great showing from Leviathan in half number 1, Tom, but now the attack side is behind them. 7 on the board, and the question many will be asking, we're about to find out the answer to, was it enough?
Yeah, it's difficult to say. Obviously, NRG have swapped up quite a lot. I think going in with the double duelist is going to give them a lot more of an opportunity to pull out rounds on the attack side. And although we didn't see the best from Kiko, like at the beginning, it definitely seemed like him and Marta were stepping up towards the end. A pistol round could make a very big difference. And as I said, the context of this map feels like one that Leviathan need to win. They're going to have an opportunity, and with their early stack up in towards the B site, felt like they potentially had the wrong read, but now with deep control. In fact, Neon just pushed all the way into the corner. Depending on when they stop running, he might have didn't hear them.
Oh yeah, it's going to be the shift from the stairs, so no chance for the sound cue to be given away. A contact play straight into Neon, but that's dangerous. Posted on this angle. Headhunter ready to roll, and a TP available to get out of there, but Nada shut him down. Sato still pulls back that advantage, and he's taken Ethan with the molly. Okay, advantage now sits in their favor, but Kiko fights his way back out. Great flash lands them at least a little bit of a foothold, but well, Brock's the only one standing, caught in the laneway, and it's an easy spam to close him out. A 3K from Sato, who's showing that he hasn't lost any of that first half flare.
He's just had a few massive multi-kill rounds, and it feels like even the read wasn't the worst. They knew on NRG that there was going to be a guy in that close right corner. They've expected Neon to be there. The problem is you deal with one piece of the Leviathan puzzle, and there's still a few more quickly looking to close out the round. A second pistol round under Leviathan's belt. It definitely makes this an uphill battle for NRG. No force to be had, of course. No plant in, no extra credits, and now they have to be very careful with a judge waiting on the other side. It seems like with that smoke placement, they are aware that there could be some players around this corner.
Yeah, I mean, the idea here, the same as the previous NRG push-up, take themselves the orb. No surprise it's being farmed up on Kiko. Now run it back will be very, very valuable. And it will most likely be online when you come into the next round, unless they get out of this with a victory without Kiko going down. And valuable for your first full buy, but...
Or without him getting a kill, or without or planting, or...
Yeah. It would be difficult to go in without it. Stampede into a short. Met by the molly of Sato. It's going to delay them somewhat. Still 45 on the clock. Still some space. Containing B main as well. They've got options here. looks like this was, again, just that attempt to fake out. It has not pulled the rotates, though. Leviathan are still patiently waiting towards this B site, containing towards spawn as well for Spike Scene. There has to be mistakes made. And even with one mistake, Chamber gets out of there right away.
25 seconds. They almost need to go down at this point. Doing some damage. They're getting players low, but they still haven't managed to kill anyone off just yet, and they are just giving orbs over. There you go, though. 2 quick kills, but it's immediately returned on by Spike Zine. It's going to be a 9th for Leviathan, the conversion in hand. And now this is where we need to see the immediate response from NRG, and if you look back to the last half, it wasn't the case. But luckily for them, Sato doesn't have his ult online, and Kiko does.
Yeah, his opportunity to come in with an ace of his own. Maybe that's somewhat of a too big of an ask. Now Sato's having a heater right now, and Leviathan up on 9. A big reason, if not the reason, is that man in particular. But now, as you said, NRG come in, run it back online. We need to farm those orbs early instead of much more direct play being lined up. Short control being taken as we speak. Flash perfect, Neon sent back. Kiko's gonna pop the ult now. It's time to hunt down the rest of that damage. Neon's already found one. A nice spot up above as well. They ran right past him, but oh, he's gonna get caught. There's a few traps almost sprung on NRG, but they have just about missed them. Close. He can get a couple kills, it'd be great.
Yeah, Scuba does excellently as well. They had a B main pushed up, looking to try and come in behind them. Once his wall goes off, he's just locked in on the corner. Make sure that nobody's able to flank in on his teammates. Even going to do well to get himself one closer to the ultimate as well. And this bonus round, seems like there's not going to be much to it whatsoever. Blows with a chance to maybe do a little bit of damage.
Gun here.
The van will spot it, but of course he's wary that even picking that up might just give the game away of where he is. And instead, maybe just going to try and save this one through. Of course, he's got the credits to buy into the next round anyway, but no point giving over any additional orbs to the other side, especially in a scenario where they're very likely to just be holding onto that post-spawn. It will be a 6th round, a necessary one for NRG, but of course, the next round is where Leviathan will get that buy.
That's the real meat and potatoes of the game. The trade-off for Leviathan, a round lost, but getting rid of that, run it back.
Quá không ứ được Red.
Kind of expected. 3-round gap now to work with.
4.48
As you said, that there in particular was where I was starting to panic. Brock does an excellent job dealing with him, and the other danger, as you said, that push up in B main, but well-positioned by Swall. Got them all the info they needed. Now the rifle round, though, for Leviathan. Now the op coming out for Neon. And he was a menace when it came to B main in the previous half. This time he'll be on the other side of it, but no doubt he'll still be sticking.
Hello. Very aggressive start to the round. Spike Scene already getting rid of Kiko. You can see how this defense plans to go on these early trap setups, and then they have the operator on the other side of the map. They know that taking away this B main control is going to be integral.
Ultimate's ready.
And in fact, with the Steel Garden online, Neon may just have to make the decision to leave instead. For now, he just holds his ground, waits to see where the pressure comes in on the other side of the map. Of course, Marta almost has to just be taking pre-fire fights because he's already so low.
Take flight.
Drone's going to spot one and be broken. Main thing is Neon getting back on this angle. They put a flash there to try to bait him into shooting it earlier on. He didn't fall for the ruse. They still don't know the danger that's lurking around that. As much as they may suspect it, there's always a chance someone rounds that corner a little too early. Neon's playing the second layer to it as well, a little bit further back, but there is a big problem. Oh, he sticks around! They went a little too early, the op in for one, and now the Headhunter's still ready to dish out damage. Brock is left on 15 HP, and the shock dart finds him. Spike down in the lane, 20 seconds to get it planted. And they're not even boots on the ground just yet, getting surrounded. The wall's closing in as Sato comes from spawn. They're on 10 seconds before this plant needs to be found. Time is running out, and NRG are running out of players. Scuba tries his damnedest, but he's got no time. And they're split up as well. They know one may fall, but the other will win the round. Double digits for Leviathan.
I love that from Neon. It truly is just like gambling on the idea that your opponents are going to go just that little bit too early. We know that's the one thing about the Steel Garden that really kind of sucks with the ult, is it takes so long to activate. But even in their heads, they've got to go like, okay, at this point he will have moved just so he hasn't lost the ult. It's not really worth sticking around just for that very last second, but you see the gamble and then just so confident in his ability with the Headhunter to go out for a little bit more. The time ticking down, and more importantly for NRG, the rounds are running out. They are 4 behind. And with Leviathan just 3 away from taking that first map, be it expected or not, NRG don't want to go out of this map with a whimper.
Absolutely not. It has been 2 strong starts in the early half for Leviathan, and those are always tough games to even make competitive, but NRG are the team that should be doing just that, or should be avoiding such a poor start in that early half for Leviathan. They got to feel sky high in terms of morale. At the moment, everything is working for them. They're coming into this round as well with a run it back online for Sato, and those have been pretty impactful.
I think the thing as well, though, that's got to be most frustrating is I think anybody who has watched this Leviathan side, you're going to sit there and go, okay, one thing we need to be really careful of is Neon in B main. So they're going to know that he's there. You see all of the util they're expending just to try and get rid of him, and then you get caught by it anyway. Like, that's what's got to be frustrating when playing against this guy. And by the looks of it, he might be about to change things up.
This is TP last time that got him out ahead of that Steel Garden. They knew he was in B. They spent the whole round trying to deal with him, push him off the angle, catch him stepping forward, but well, if they try that this time, they'll find that he's nowhere to be found, as you said. Neon, this time in middle. Himself an outlaw, and his opponents have 4 sets of light shields. Well, caught by the reveal.
Go, go, go!
Far there is a massive danger. One for most players greater than the operator. A 2-barrel op up against light shields, waiting in mid but finding nothing. But the benefit here is he's going to cut their rotates. So rotations could come in on the defensive side instead. They'll reinforce this B site. 3 players on hand, and Sato waiting a while to run in with the run it back. He's caught good timing and initiated that fight for his teammates.
Leaving it down to 3 players already. Ethan has done well. But the man with the Odin is still at the back of the site, almost fighting with Brock with his own machine.
30 seconds
and now
left.
Scuba with 30 seconds left, no spike in his hand, and 3 players already in a triangular crossfire. There was never any way out of that position. Leviathan with another well-structured, well-played round. And for NRG directly after the pause, that is not the reaction you want to see.
And Neon coming in with an outlaw, saving a couple of credits, and now he comes in. Could buy an op, but why would he? He's got himself the Tour de Force online. But blows here, he impresses me. I think we'll see the fight from stairs. He swings out wide, doesn't even bother ADSing. That was the most impressive part. Fighting Brock at his own game and styling on him as well. 2 rounds left for Leviathan to claim a map that they have looked superb on so far. And that Blaze is actually really annoying to try to push through for the defensive side. You can see they were going to flash in, but instead they have to wait up, and now they're ended up in the choke point, being met by the push. Kiko's found the first. They'll wait out the molly, but the drone goes through, and now they know exactly where to look. The spam, that should have taken him out. It's left him with a bit of HP, not for too much longer, you would think. Scuba's gone down.
It looked like he had him dead to rights. It looked like they even pushed Sato in towards Scuba, set him up to get the kill, and then it doesn't even matter. And just when you thought the Odin was on the other side of the map, they've had enough time to rotate. Just look at the position of Neon as well. Where do you go back? My man has already got you locked in if you try and go all the way back through the spawn. They're going to have that early information system of him. And because of that, with 40 seconds left, like, they've dropped noise to go, okay, maybe we're gone. Maybe we're somewhere else. Now they've been spotted. Now they know the ruse is up. 3 players still within this site for Leviathan. And I genuinely start to question, when do you just hold on to the guns?
Sadow's just throwing in a flash for the sake of it, because hell, he's got another to work with, might not need it. Blind comes in on the other side, it's good, but these players have plenty on this site. Anti-flash, ready to roll, and 12-6 we go. This is a masterclass from Leviathan. From the very get-go, their slow pace on the attack side made it uncomfortable for NRG. And here in the second, they've looked like they're in complete control.
It's unfortunate, because again, I think the initial game plan, that opening pick, forcing Sato into an awkward fight, and then they end up just with one kill in the entirety of the round. It's safe to say that nothing is going the way of NRG, and Leviathan are proving why maybe even banning this map might be the best choice to avoid this sort of humiliation. They are looking to get themselves one map away from making it to playoffs. And, okay, it's a dance with death. Somehow Marder has managed to come out on top. Ethan alongside him. The best chance we've seen in a while. The spam should deny Spike seeing anything cheeky.
Oh, not blows though. He's taking Marder down straight through the wall. Not a bad start. NRG needing 6 in a row, and it's already getting a little bit dicey. Big generators in the way there, luckily. The shot dart through on the other side will do damage. Scuba defends down below, and he decides to shoot back. That is a brave, bold, and perhaps silly play. The time may be too far gone here unless the kills come in so quickly, and now they will just tuck in, hide, and wait for this clock to win the round for them. Ringer Rosie being put into play, and oh my goodness, you see why. Give Neon a chance, and he would have taken it. But the clock indeed has won the round for NRG. Not exactly the round that inspires confidence in the 6-round win streak, though. It's a very tight one in the end.
At this stage, I think a round is a round, but yeah, I definitely agree. It's going to put their economy back on the fringe. Definitely an awkward battle to begin with the flash, leaving King so blind he ends up TPing back into his own opponent. Blows, and Neon with a nice attempt. Yeah, you can tell that Ethan thought he'd killed him. 12-7.
Okay.
Mixed bag by, and it seems like NRG just going to keep trying to rinse and repeat. King has not been here. He's not been here before, but Scuba is waiting for it. Even still, Sato on the side defending well, but it's dropped. He gets the trade of his own kill, and Utility is doing all of the work for Leviathan. Another pulse that could do damage, and it will kill off Kiko's ult, but he still stands. The wraparound coming in. Drones will be trading information, but to be honest, Glow's position is not the core issue. Neon has taken so much space.
That Outlaw up against Kiko now has 2 shields left, 25 on Brock. Again, you're not just giving Neon, you saw how dangerous he was with the operator. Well, he can move faster and shoot faster as well, with each bullet as deadly as it is with the big gun.
They're expecting a push. Both defensive players are locked in on very passive angles because that plant hasn't come through. I really like this from Leviathan. They're just waiting for that plant to go in so that they know what side of the map this pressure has come in on. But I also like it for NRG. They were trying to bait them into a fight before they plant. Instead, we get the fight that's expected. Neon swinging his way through main. His teammate very far behind, and he can't quite hit the shot. That was an opportunity maybe for a freebie. Instead, now the spam's trying to clear a spot that nobody has stood in any longer. Reveal available. Both players waiting, but that's the shot that can make it count. Is left all onto Brock. He's being spammed out from underneath. And again, he will bite the dust to a gun that he made popular. It's Leviathan that will go 1-0 up in this series and find themselves a map away from playoffs.
And they look so comfortable down on that stage as well. This was a masterclass on Ascent, but now we up the difficulty. NRG's map pick is up next. The bounce back has to start after the break. He's hunting down that title.
The time to write the next chapter in the esports history books is finally here.
And they fold it in his hands yet again. He steps up to the plate and he can knock this one out of the park. They shall be engraved alongside the greats.
Miễn là nó hay à. Miễn là nó hay chứ đi chứ không phải miễn là nó gay à. Thật cụ. Ải ba đánh Anasa nha bạn. Anasa tài trợ chương trình này. Anasa mạnh với lồn. Không, ở chơi có thằng đánh qua luôn mà. Đúng, lâu, thật sự là lâu nhưng mà không có nghĩa là anh không đủ điểm anh qua.
Tired of off-season blues once Champs is over? Fear not, because Valorant is coming to the Esports Nations Cup, where players split from their clubs and compete for national pride. Will EMEA turn every round into a chess match? Is Brazil about to turn every map into ranked? Will Team USA ego peak every single angle? The final event of the year is not to be missed. Esports Nations Cup 2026. See you in November.
Nó có đăng bài đúng không? Hàng còn dư. Có Irelia không? Không, đây là set 3 hết rồi. Đó Liều nè. Set 3 hết rồi.
Sữa Gruke Gold có chỉ số đường huyết thấp, hệ bột đường hấp thu từ từ.
The color that your balls are. It's that simple, okay? We're slightly scarred every single time I say balls after the draw show with Nick yesterday. That's why Nick is not playing today. We put him in the naughty corner.
Mỗi con
okay,
Chippy
boys, who's going to
E1
be stepping up first?
vẫn đánh được 3.300 này.
Come on then, Lewis. All right, yep, there's a mark on the floor. Perfect, you hit it. You could do my job. Oh, straight in with the 70. Oh. Okay, that's borderline. I'm afraid, I think that's slightly on red, but 70 points, not bad at all. Noah's conferring. We don't have time for this, Noah. Come on. 40, yes. 40, that's 80. Oh, 120. Step forward, please, Ellis. With the yellow balls representing vitality. Ooh. Oh. You just batonked yourself into the red. Okay,
không, tầng đó tầng thành giả mày đánh con cát E0 vẫn được mà đấu mẹ đó.
Finally, Quinn stepping
dễ
up.
luôn khách.
The big Sentinels fan. 90! Did what Sentinels couldn't and actually won something. Congratulations to Quinn. And I'm talking about 2026 then, not the past. So don't worry, we haven't forgotten Sentinels fans. So you guys have officially won some signatures. I've got 2 for NA and I've got 2 for Europe. So of course, Quinn, I know you'll be wanting that one. Quinn, a huge NA fan. Any other NA fans here? Ellis is like the most reluctant. You're the most British NA fan I've ever seen. And guys, there you go. You've got our European team signatures. Please, London, give it up for your non-pop group. Enjoy map 2.
Mega Fast Lap là gần 6. Hả? Con này mà gần 650 á. Khiếp, hai con đó mà 650 á, mỗi con nhất định 300. Gần 300. Mà con Fast Lap ghi chứ còn phải 10 đô. 15 đô. Mặt điên.
Yeah, I think so. I think it's a pretty good comp. Yesterday, Energy beat the master of that comp. You know, Shirai. We copy of them, so maybe we can get our revenge. You know, it's gonna be fun.
Thank you so much.
Well, we finally get the match between Energy and Lev this season, and Lev prove again why they are the masters of Ascent.
Yeah, I said earlier if they didn't win that map, then I was going to go home. So unfortunately, you're stuck with me for a little bit longer.
That is unfortunate.
Unfortunate. I think you're selling yourself a bit short. Yeah, it was clearly a very dominant performance coming up from Leviathan. You saw Energy trying to call their way back into it, but overall, Lev showing why they're the kings of Ascent.
Yeah, it was great to see. It looked like a few new ideas, but overall, a lot of the same kind of stuff. I was highlighting Neon going deep into middle. Forgotten that completely. It was actually in B main that he was dominating in this game, and then on the attack side as well, like some nice new ult strats. It looked like some fake ideas. And defense, it was all about those trap plays coming in. So many ideas that you got to keep track of, and Energy just couldn't. I think the Energy it's just not their map, but they still got enough rounds for me to be confident that they're still in this series.
Well, the thing about these, you know, set plays, things that you can expect, you can keep refining on it and building on it and perfecting it. And it looks like that's what Lev was doing today. But we have to also give a little shout to Brock and the Odin. He never fails with a little bit of an Odin spam there. He got a great 3K at some point.
He was trying his best, yeah. I did say to keep an eye on that. Obviously, we know Brock for the Odin at this point, but the weapon diversity as well, I feel like is so important. And Energy usually utilize that very well. We did see Mada on the operator as well. A bit of a quieter map for him too, I want to say, but yeah, you could see the attempt to be able to try and shut Lev's aggression down.
Now there's a guy we were eyeing. It was Sato on the Phoenix. So let's check out our Verizon high-speed moment where he aced on the Phoenix.
Yeah, Sato was incredible. I mean, we hyped him up coming into this match, but I think this moment in particular, the amount of ultimates that he was able to get off on the Phoenix, I think it was 5 overall by the end, which is the equivalent of an ult every 4 rounds, by the way, which is realistically all you can ask for from your Phoenix.
Right now, for me, Sato is the main character of this event. He is the protagonist. He is fragging, he is frying, he's giving energy, he's doing everything. He is giving it to the fans. He's doing everything that I can ask for from a young player. He is filling this stadium with aura.
He was stood up before the match even started. Like round 1 started and he was like hyping the crowd up already before we even got into the map properly. So it's just really nice to see.
Yeah, I was worried almost. It was a little bit too soon. Round 1, you can't be standing up, but he proved us all wrong.
Yeah, and here a head-to-head that we were asking for was the Sato versus Kiko. Unfortunately, Kiko was not playing like he did in that first series. I will give him some grace that it just felt like Energy weren't as good at this in this map. I think that they're not as comfortable on the Ascent, and Lev are just, in my opinion, the best Ascent team in the world. So going forward to this series, I hope Kiko builds up that performance and is a bit more confident on these other maps.
Yeah, definitely. And I don't know about this London buff. It's not coming through today. I think London needs to start giving him some of that energy. Now, we do have some questions, speaking of energy, for Energy. Let's have a quick chat with Twitch Bonker on stage with Jen.
On fire, Neon on that opping duty. Big pain in the butt for you. What do you guys need to do for Lotus?
We need to be a little bit more proactive and we need to be a bit more aggressive. I feel like we were giving them way too much space, especially start of defense, half on Ascent. So if we just play with some more cojones, we're going to be fine.
That's the luck.
Yeah, and that was something I noticed coming out of the timeout from Bonker immediately. As soon as they took the timeout, they were going a lot more aggressive and giving the game to Lev. And I'll be very interested to see if that becomes part of their game plan on Lotus. Owner said triple Senti comp, and I think that having that kind of style in this map will be a great win condition for Energy.
Yeah, I hope he's not kind of winding him up with that, because I really would like to see that triple Sentinel composition, especially because we saw Energy tackle it so well against XLG the other day, and I think that coming into that, Lev must have known that Energy would have picked into this map, and we've spoken about how Lev have been playing similar things to what they played previously. I think a strength for them has been those trap plays, but what
Cái
can they
bớt là
actually
bớt
do
gì
on
ta?
this
Cái
lowest
bớt
map
nửa
with
máu
this
anh
triple
mẹ
set?
tên
I
này.
mean, I do have a question for that. Yes, they beat
No
XLG
matter.
with that triple Sandy comp, but Pleb is very different than XLG, and especially in terms of that resilience.
Ít nhất là thằng kia còn kiểu đi mày spawn này chịu rồi, thôi tao tha mày. Ít nhất nó còn tha. Ít nhất nó còn tha.
Like the Americans like to do, Viper and the Chamber would be my pick for them, but considering that they don't have too much time, it's a lot easier sometimes with your weak map to just look at who's playing this map really well right now. Let's look at who's got a bit of a gimmick composition. Gimmick, maybe the wrong word to use, but I still think it is a gimmick composition.
It is quite gimmicky. I mean, it's a composition that has been around for quite some time, but
GA
it's one of
là
those ones where when you kind of figure out what people are doing, it's
In my
Một
opinion, it's a
$9 là khoảng
checkmate
25 đúng
composition.
không?
If you are playing against a team who doesn't understand the map so well, you immediately win. But NRG are not one of those teams. NRG have a fantastic record on this map, and they've shown that they can beat this composition before, so I expect them to take this map too.
Well, if you're gonna get a map too, that means we're gonna go the full distance in a 3-mapper, which I would say I'm not entirely surprised given how strong both these teams are coming into London.
We've been baited.
Yeah, we have been completely live. What did you say, Porkies? Something?
Yeah, Porkies.
Porkies.
Porkies. Neon on that jet double duelist, very, very simple, easy to play composition. The kind of compositions we see a lot in APAC. It's very interesting for me because I really think that Energy's comp is the best one on this map by far, and I think that the double duelist comps should struggle. So I want to test my theory here and see if that is correct. I think that Energy will have no problems dealing with this double dive with the Viper and Vice on that defense.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I think the Leviathan starting on the attack here, though, is really good for them. Having that double duelist, but then also having the Sky to be able to follow up with them. I think if you're a Lev fan, it's definitely a time to be excited, right? One map away from being able to make it to the playoffs, considering they were coming into this event as the dark horse.
That's right, but it sounds like both of you guys are predicting a full series, so we'll have to wait and see as we send it back to our casters, Mitch and Tom.
Well, it was a hot start from Sato on map 1 and from Leviathan in general in both halves. A 5-1 leg up to kick off each half of Ascent. That's going to be tough to replicate here on Lotus for a number of reasons, Tom, but certainly one of the big ones is NRG. They should come in here with the upper hand.
Well, yeah, Owner is also just shattered a long life thing of board men don't lie. I always thought that was something that we had to go about. Like, yeah, it's a very well-known saying. He went up onto that stage, he was like, I don't even want to give them 1 minute to think that we're changing everything, so I'm just going to go ahead and say we're still running the old comp. He even said we'll get revenge for XLG and then come in with a completely different comp. Love to see it. And giving them that little bit of extra aggressive style that we love to see from them. The problem is they are being surrounded, pincered, and already have a deficit.
Yeah, they gave up the C side and the side of NRG, but they fought for C main instead. Now, the pressure being put on once again as the door swings open. Brock gonna land those shots to start with, and it looked like Leviathan wanted to deal with Kiko, but it's not gone too well to start. That's a nice shot from Neon. 1v3. If he got that pickup, the spike could be back under his control, but now you can see NRG just looking to group up. They're not even going to take the fight anymore. They'll allow him a plant.
I got the spike.
All they need is the retake.
Yeah, you can see the doubt it's also caused. At this point, they could have grouped up and gone absolutely anywhere. They could have surrounded the B site waiting for his rotation. They could be sat in the spawn, and for Neon, it's like, okay, I'd like to get this plant, but I have about 15 angles that I need to check before I do. Spike planted at least. Not a lot of utility to play with. That's the one dangerous piece. Well, unfortunately, that puts him down to 29 HP. Kiko a little low, but they know now, especially without W's, he has to be trying to look for a fight, has to be trying to force the issue a little bit. I like the reposition though, but even still, just the jump spot, the smoke, going to create an awkward angle for him. And although that time is ticking, it's not ticking anywhere near fast enough. Pistol round under the belt of NRG, and considering I don't think they won a single one in the last map, I think they'll be quite happy to get off to a good start here.
I don't think they won a single one in the last map either, Tom. Yeah, that 5-1 start was the ground shaking from Leviathan. Regardless of which half you talk about, much more confidence from NRG, and this is something that they were denied when it came to Ascent in the entire first half, essentially. which was any sort of aggressive stance.
Let's run these guys, Dave, bro. Please.
Every time that they look to take those fights, you just had Leviathan sat waiting. In a sense, not a map that allows you to play quite as aggressive as this one will. There's much more space for those attackers to cover. So I'll have to change how they're playing, and well, that's always going to help NRG out with what we saw in the last.
There goes the investment. The purchase down to give an outlaw to Neon, and it's now on the ground. And that is a pretty big problem, because it's not in the easiest spot to retrieve. Blows has managed to do so. We'll just try and recover any sort of semblance of control. The problem, though, of course, is going into their buy round, there's going to be some vulnerabilities, so dropping some weaponry is a must.
Đúng rồi,
Pushing into the seaside setup.
Chủ yếu là discipline nè. Repuke nữa, chứ mà discipline. Engodero, mua rẻ, Engodero rất rẻ. Defy rẻ, Charm rẻ. Discipline là cái mắt nè, Flash là có rồi. Nó so fast. Cũng cái mắt.
Making it to the backside, Ethan starts out very nicely. They won't force him into too uncomfortable of a position. At least I thought so, but Ethan's gone down. Shadow found one with the outlaw as well, and now you see the real potential of a round like this. Avoiding the snake bite to start. Not going to get spammed through that wall, but the plant is always difficult when your opponents have control of water. Those spams can be deadly, and it's not really a safe spot to plant. 12 seconds left.
Rồi và hai cái Defiant Dance là khỏi kiếm luôn.
Very close to taking down Marder, but for NRG that was the minimum.
Ưu tiên các
Get
DNA
home with
trước,
the
sau đó
three
rồi tới
rifles that they
cuối
bought into this round. They get to come in with Marder being one away from having that showstopper available. And it means that this next round, even though it's not going to be the greatest of purchases and may have a pistol or two in the mix, that ult, if they can get it online,
vậy là mình sẽ ưu
could end
tiên
up being very costly for Leviathan.
I do like the buy that Leviathan went for. I think coming in with an outlaw, a Marshall as well on this map, so many long-range angles to take a fight on. Good chance NRG give you the fights, not expecting that. And the weakness you get here is Sheriff on King, but he shouldn't be taking a lot of fights early, so it's just fine.
He's very good with the Sheriff as well. That might help them out.
chơi Stellacorn Station.
He's going to be able to get one. This round feels like it's more about damage than anything else. Unfortunately, I don't think he's firing blanks.
Hai shot cuối phải coi coi có những cái lá nào ở hàng drone ngon thì ok. Cần GA, bả GA.
Make the players on the other side a little bit healthier.
Hai cái giày.
But again, even just a
hai
couple
giày
of
thôi,
guns
cho
dropped,
hai giày
forcing those
cho hai
repurchases.
giày
Of
và
course,
một
for
cái
now, Leviathan haven't
một cái
actually
con
lost
nha.
any guns because Sato has just fallen into the hands of King.
Mình có thể lắp
And I love this freeze. I mean,
ba
they've
Charm, ba
normally seen
Defy,
these players on C and B
hai
anyways.
Endot,
And you got 3 kills towards the A site. So many teams would just run it in, and you can see the danger there with Scuba having spent this whole round just waiting in tree.
hai
But they
stack
wait,
leg,
hoping there's re-aggression, knowing the lifesteal is containing their back, and eventually, when it's time to push,
hai nó so fast là
Scuba's caught out
15,
of position. Plant can come through now.
hai
With,
Stormcross
maybe
là
not with
17,
ease.
một Rider Win,
I'm glad there was a lot
một
more
Ghost
time on the clock.
và
Because if
ba
that
cái
was
Defiant
a little bit
là
later in the
22 lá
round,
spell.
that could have been a travesty.
It's one of the harder skill
Chỉ
checks.
có 6 ghi thôi, 23 lá, 22 lá spell. Mình dư
It didn't matter in the end. It didn't even get planted in. It's going to come through
mình có
after the
thiếu,
round.
mình có 10
Leviathan
con
onto the
Cham.
board. A solid start for Neon. But I think
Là
it's
mình đang
something
bị
worth
thiếu
pointing out as
một
well
lá.
when talking about this Leviathan side.
Có
Like,
thể là cho
a lot of the
Hot
time
Button
with
cũng được.
young, inexperienced teams, you do expect that.
Thêm
You
vụ-
expect
thêm
people to just go,
vua
ah,
không
we've
thì
got 2-man advantage, run at
thiếu
them,
hai
just
lá
run
thì
them
phải cho
over,
hai
let's
con
just
thêm
destroy
hai
them.
unit nữa.
Whereas this
Nếu
team,
không cần.
even look back to the last map, they're very controlled when they have advantages.
Không
They're
thiếu
not
lá.
like wasting
22,
those
10,
opportunities and not
33,
allowing for some of the clutches that we know NRG have the
22,
players
10 là 33,
to pull off.
36 nữa 39,
Showstopper available.
22,
Not anymore.
10.
Of all all the ways to hold a man
22,
on the attack. That's
28,
really not the one that I thought would work so flawlessly for
22,
Leviathan.
32,
To send Neon out,
32,
takes a
38,
fight against a
39, thiếu một
4-man A
con.
main push. Gets
Tôi
one
cho
and
thêm
there's
một
no
cái
follow-up. NRG falling a bit flat in that early
chắc
round.
Rider win
And
nữa cũng
look,
được.
to anyone's surprised, I guess you didn't watch the
Không,
first
thêm
map.
cái
It
Ghost
is
nữa
a
là
full
ngon.
freeze
Ok.
from
2
Leviathan as
Ghost,
they wait
2
again
Engard,
for the
3
aggression of
Defy,
NRG,
3
catching it
Charm,
once more and
2
finding a
Stack Deck,
5v3
2
advantage.
Discipline, 2 Not So Fast, 1
The second
Boost,
that
1
they
Rider
get the
Win, 2
upper
Star
hand,
Cross.
they force a mistake out of the other side. This is what they were doing on Ascent.
Dạch
And
2
even now,
giày,
in a
3 Guardian
5v3,
Angel, 1
there's
Zonya,
no semblance of taking a risk.
Stellacon,
They still
Header,
want to
3
see if NRG
Stellacon,
will
1
give them a little bit more.
Adapter, và Adapt,
I think you
2 Thai, 2 Shrubto và 2 Lonely Boro. Là ok.
remove the HUD. And you ask who is the
Ok, sau
champions
mua Lonely.
winning side or the team
Mai
maybe
là
playing
còn
like it, and I think it's
kia
a
này
tough
trước.
question to answer. They're looking
Đó
so
là cần gì
controlled
mua
in the
đấy.
manner in which they play. Fact
Mình
is
còn
though,
mua có 2 Defy rồi, có 3 Tron, có đủ Defy rồi, đủ Tron rồi, giờ thiếu Discipline là thứ nhất.
too much, but now the Hawk is
Thiếu
all that remains. He needs an ace, and it will only be the one. Leviathan deal with that with relative ease, and now go 2-2.
Yeah, look, a timeout's being called for NRG, and I think you can see why for Leviathan.
Thiếu Engard là thứ
Starting this out,
2,
it's a
thiếu
ridiculous
Not So
pickup.
Fast, thiếu 3,
But the
thiếu Địa
freeze
Phúc là
was
thứ
a
4,
factor in the
bên kia
previous
là có
map.
dư rồi.
And then they go in towards the B site, the Skydog, and this is what I love about the composition. After those advantages are found, they group
Mua mấy
up.
cái spell nhỏ nhỏ
minute
nhỏ
later,
trước. Và còn
Skydog
Fervent,
goes through,
cái này
clears
sẽ là
everything. You
con.
know you're not running into the stack, but then the Vice Wall actually allowed the rotations to come back in, so it became a very dangerous round where they avoided it initially. There were 3 players on C. B site was an easy walk-in. By the time they pushed B, everyone from NRG's there. They're ready for the fight. And still falling behind in those battles. Definitely the moment to reassess this defensive side.
Yeah, and now as well, going into that Coinbase win condition, I think it was something that was talked about already by the coaching staff. Oh, Bond, the fact that getting aggressive, not playing almost strong was something that they wanted. You see it in this round, and ended up being more of a problem. I think that's something they need to adapt to. Like the solo fight, maybe expecting that to be a little bit clearer for Mata to take. And Neon off to a flyer at the start. To be honest, maybe the pause could even just be, you know what, I don't want this guy to just run over us, because we've seen him flex onto so many different roles, but when he was down in that academy system, the duelist was where he was truly terrifying.
And what is the adjustment from NRG, as you said, wanting to see them play a bit more confident, a bit more aggressive was part of what Bonkar was talking about. It certainly looks like this time they will be playing aggressive with that early peak coming out of Brock, but he's being shut down. Of course, this is a weak fight for NRG. It's where you're going to take risks. The C spot early was necessary so they could figure out whether to push up on B or not, but now, well, they know exactly where the hit's coming in, but dealing with it's a different story. Pistols on the retake, and yes, there's a showstopper online, but unless we find ourselves in an advantageous spot, I don't think we're going to see Mata throw that in.
Thus far, I would say that Sato has stolen the show of the superstar of Leviathan, but in this map, it has been all Neon thus far. Lead looks like it's guaranteed, and for the defensive side, you kind of look at this as just, okay, I don't want to give the orbs over. Go down to the spike, maybe take some kills as you go. For blows, one of the few players that's actually close to his ultimate. Seems like he's the one maybe most likely to try and hunt this one down, flash out, but it has been avoided by Ethan. Of course, though, the weaponry is just not favored for him. Instead, they get pushed in, and seeming like they're going to be cleaned up. A flawless round for Leviathan. No casualties felt. Orbs picked up as well. Now 4 of their 5 ults are online.
Start to look at Leviathan as maybe being the favorites. They're playing a tight game. And we see it so often. We've seen it at this event. We certainly see it regionally where teams have these big leads and they start to loosen up how they're playing. Leviathan are coming in, a map to the good with a solid start in this one as well. 3 in a row now. And yet on Ascent, even when they had a huge lead, even when they were 5-1 up, it was NRG having to come up with solutions. Leviathan were not making it any easier for them.
Operator picked up Amano. Potential for a difference maker, and immediately that's the showstopper down. A nice shot connected. He goes for one of his own, and he's been dealt with by Neon. Even still, though, the trades
bán chung xài tạm.
have come out. Now we'll listen to NRG.
Không có tiền gì anh, không có gì phải lấy đâu. Chứ giờ con cu mắt như chó. Tất cả tại Nam Boyer. Biết không Neo? Con cu ở đây nó con cua gần. Tao nói vậy chứ như một con cua bây giờ.
NRG finding success on the back of that operator. You mentioned it from Mata, although he ended up in a bit of an awkward anime battle right afterwards.
Làm là khoảng một đô.
The rest of the team filling in all the gaps.
127 đúng không?
A better round for them for
Con
sure.
cua giờ 127.
I think an attempt
Con
from
cua giờ có 30.000.
Leviathan to almost just break them and insta
Tôi lấy 23.
didn't work out. With
Liều
that
ơi,
operator, Odin, all
đánh
the
trận
pieces of the
nhanh
puzzle, and most of the ultimates not being expended either for that defensive side. They put themselves in a pretty good position. Flash will leave Mada forced off the angle, but you see the immediate rotation coming out from Scuba to just support that A site. The door being broken as well, just giving them that avenue. Oh, the spams ready to go. Already clearing out blows. It's a little bit tougher to do these spams nowadays, but I'm sure you're a big fan.
Absolutely. You love to see it done well. And Mata then finding another on the operator, just doubles down on the advantages. Another for Mata, finishing off Ethan's dinner, leaving Leviathan with nothing but breadcrumbs, and it's not going to look clean in any fight they take. Chance for it to be flawless, connected by Brock in the end. Another round for NRG, and well, that pause seems to have worked wonders.
Yeah, I think even just having the proper 4x though, having that operator in hand, unfortunately having the Odin.
Lead has been reclaimed, but a 4x comes up on the other side still. Rifles hastening the pace towards this C site.
It's clearly the expectation as well. They've moved the vice set up there, already looking to try and take the weaponry away with the Steel Garden. Spams for those close positions, and Brock just looking to try and retake that control. The problem is there's a player up top, but that player has no support. Neon did not expect anybody to be peeking that angle, but now the weapon's back. They'll find one in response.
Didn't expect him to be on the left there. The spams back from Leviathan. Very effective. They should know by now that the rotates have come in towards C, that it's going to be a bit better defended. There's the Nightfall coming through to confirm for NRG. There's still players here. They don't catch a lot off the back of it. In fact, I think only one player is going to be flagged by that. Now on the defense, you think they might go back. Mata didn't have all that space on A. They should stay with this two-man setup, and Leviathan don't know that they'll still run into numbers. For the 4-2, they can get through that smoke. They should be favored, and they've already gotten in. The Sky Flash works wonders. Boots on the ground. Scuba putting bodies on the ground till King answers up. But Ethan's not gone anywhere.
Take hold.
Baiting them in here is going to be important. Eventually, though, we'll stick that plant. Ultimate available, but finding a time to use it is difficult. As said, it's one of those slow burners. In terms of when it's activated, instead he's going to go pushing, looking for Ethan, hoping that there's an isolated fight, but he still has no idea where Mada is. In fact, he's got his back turned to the enemy, expecting it to be main, expecting that push to come in the other direction, and it's because of the initial aggression that we've seen from Mada so much. But he was wrong in this case. It will be the lead being extended now for NRG.
Yeah, it's not a bad read considering Mada have been pushed up in A main almost every round so far, but rotation ends up playing a big role, as does Scuba finding two before they went down.
Still getting the
A little delay in it, but that's fine. A two-round gap now for the defensive side. And, you know, dealing with that, no doubt you'd hope you'd have an easier round coming, but once again, those rifles come out with Leviathan. Once again, releasing 5 players at the barrier, this will be a much more direct play towards the A site, but this time NRG are not only 3A, but 2 of them are sitting in tree. They're defending the Odin tooth and nail, and that's going to make this a real headache to not only take, but even to hold on to any space on this side of the map.
We've got to look after the MVP. bring out some of that utility. At least attempting to, but it hasn't really helped too much. Look how many players are here now, 4. Gonna try and make it a little bit easier. Neon had only lights out, but it's Kika that goes through. Tries to make the play, ends up losing his life. And now with the weaponry dissipated, it almost has to be the fallback. That Odin won't be firing any bullets, at least for a second or two, and that allows for a post plant.
Spot for Neon, but it's looks away in a 5 versus 4. Now the advantage out of the hands of the attackers. Time ticking, but not quite quick enough. King's gonna have to come up big on this corner.
Có những thằng nó nghỉ game từ hơn tháng rồi.
Pick up the pace and the off finds one on the corner. Blast packing in deeper. The space filled in behind, but the kills finding their way into the hands of Leviathan. It's the Odin jump, but he jumps into a crossfire. And Leviathan won't let him away with that one.
You see the impact of the ult. I think Kiko definitely goes a little bit early. The rest of the team seem almost set up. But yeah, look, it's just a massive gamble. But that Steel Garden did most of the work. They'll remove the ability to just spam through all of those walls. An ult that they won't have now for a little while, but it does get them back on the horse. 3 rounds in a row one way, 3 rounds in a row the other way. Looking like more of a level playing field than what we saw on the last map.
Ủa đợt này mà có mua battle pass của Ocnao nè.
Showstopper back online. Viper's Pit available for Scuba. Neon again, he's trying to get cheeky around the edge of this smoke.
Là mày bỏ ra 200.000 tiếp để mua à? Này bây giờ cũng giàu phết.
Problem is King. If he goes for this B main control, he's going to be walking right into the off, but I think they'll go back here and swing that door, and then that leaves Prada in a really bad spot. Looking for some control over A as well. This is where, as well, from Lev's perspective, you start to add up that where is that off? He's been here almost every time. Mada's been fighting for that control, and he's given it up this time. Kings put the pieces together. Put the bullet straight into Mada's head.
And that leaves a pretty big gap. You had a lot of those rotations spotted. Instead, now they have to re-gamble players back over towards this A side of the map. But if there was any gun to try and catch them, this might be the one. Maybe a bit wary that they could try and split back into B instead. They'll face into that A site utility. The time's starting to tick down though for Leviathan. 30 seconds. The Seekers might just give the game away a little bit, but they know that at least one is here.
Now they don't know about the Odin, they're backing him up. In fact, they won't! Ethan stops them at the gates! Spike seen all that remains, and he didn't stand a chance! What a round by Ethan! His job there was just to slow them down, to take that first fight, bake them in for his teammate. But he took every single kill in his stride. Look at him go! Also an excellent paranoia from Kiko that gave them no chance to fight back.
Yeah, it's like the first couple of flashes that came out from Lev was sublime. He gets caught by the paranoia, dodges that second flash, and then with the paranoia of his own coming in from Kiko, that was just a straight cleanup. Of course, they were close enough that they could probably see him. It made no difference in the end. A faster paced take being attempted, some weaker weaponry in hand, and already diving in onto Scuba, who's still stuck in the corner. They should know he's here, maybe on a sound cube, but it doesn't matter. He's held the line anyway, and now the support arrives in the form of the Odin. Leaves Spikes in alone. They're disappearing out, but well, there's enough bullets that it wasn't a problem for Brock.
Yeah, backup called in again. This time Ethan didn't take all the kills, so Brock got a bite of the pie. 7-4 now for NRG after 2 really strong starts from Lev in the previous map. As we said, 5-1 up. 10-2 if you take both early halves. There it is again, the cackle out of Ethan. As at this stage, it's been 5-1. In the last couple. A complete role reversal for NRG now as they're finding a lot of success. With 1 round left to play for, Lev, they walked into that gate, but they walked out with the kill.
Yeah, the Blade Storm from Neon once again. He has been the main factor of this attack in half, but an immediate response. An aggressive one at that. There are 4 players looking to barrel down from the defensive side. An entire brawl of every player remaining. And well, there is nobody coming out alive on the Leviathan side. They had a decent start to this one, but then NRG came to play.
Oh yeah, NRG have certainly woken up after a bit of a sleepy start on Ascent. Now their map pick looks a whole lot cleaner. An 8-4 first half behind us. But another half will be coming up after the break.
One enemy remaining. Strike down A.
Là một.
Keyword motto of energy, Mata. You know, Leviathan, they love to stand up and use that energy to gain momentum. Do you think that's gonna affect you at all today?
I don't think it's going to affect us. They're young kids. They're very excited to play, so I understand, but...
If you can do it, I can too. Just watch me.
Hey.
Jen here with Sato of Lev. Sato, what did you guys learn from yesterday's game that might help you today?
I feel like playing on an international is much different than playing on a regional stage. Like, every time there was a round going, I could feel the floor trembling, and that was like very weird for me at the beginning. And then as the series went on, I got more used to it, and I think that's like really important, because if we're going to play a team as strong as NRG, if I'm not used to like whatever's going on, then we're just gonna get rolled.
So growing as a player day by day here at Masters London.
Well, it has been very exciting to see Sato's growth as a player, but I don't think anybody expected him to be as big of a problem in that first map as he was. It's been a difficulty, though, when it comes to this one. Leviathan in general, though, struggling across the board. It's what we expected to see for NRG. But keep in mind that we expect to see the similar kind of vibe on the next map as well. So for Leviathan, it's not as easy as writing this off as NRG's pick. They still want to at least make it close and competitive. An 8-4 scoreline starting us off. Strong showing from NRG, but a pistol loss could have seen us even at the half. And now Leviathan's chance to right the wrongs of history. That flash is behind the Viper wall, so it actually caught nobody. Leviathan end up running to their deaths. And a heal, sure, onto Spike Scene, but man advantage well and truly locked in for NRG.
Another great paranoia coming out from Kiko. It's safe to say those assists are well-deserved. Trying to get that a little bit more aggressive himself. And a second already guaranteed. In fact, the third will come his way as well. I think that's 3 kills, 2 assists. Almost a perfect round for Kiko. And now 9-4 in the lead. I have to say, I'm not too hopeful for a comeback in this one.
Yeah, losing both pistols already not a great sign, but you think back to the previous map, you even think back to how we started here when Leviathan were fighting and bringing us to that 3-2 scoreline. This was a squad that had patience on the attack side. It looked like they had NRG's number. They shut down every piece of aggression, at times just by standing in the open and taking a fight. And now things have changed completely. From a team that couldn't make a mistake to one that can connect around.
The kill distribution, not normally the most exciting thing to talk about, but I think that's every single player in NRG with 10 kills. So there you go. It really has been a team performance. We saw it in the last half, the pickup of the Odin and the Operator making a huge difference, but in this one, I'm not even sure that will be necessary. Now, Leviathan, they've got a good read here. 4 players on this side of the map. See, it's only the 2 rifles, and already Brock has gone down. In fact, I think that's the realization for NRG that, okay, maybe there's a little bit more of a stack up than expected. Let's try and reset and maybe bait that rotation elsewhere.
Yeah, they want them to leave this seaside, but Leviathan, full eco at this point. there's a good chance that they decide to stick around anyways. Just play the retake, go down to the spike. If this squad goes elsewhere, better to catch them here. If they come, then gamble and potentially be late on another side of the map. Obviously, the problem being flanks, but it's not really a problem for Leviathan at the moment. They've got King covering off their back. They've got Neon covering B. That tells you that the numbers on site thinned out a little bit more. Shadow spotted already. Up close to spike scene inside the smoke, 12 seconds. I mean, he could make this awkward if he drops the spike. And in fact, even that kill is going to do exactly that. The rifle pick back up, 7 seconds. Denying the plant here is all that it takes. But it lands on the floor anyways. And Leviathans start falling like flies. Kiko's triple seals the deal. Double digits for NRG.
Yeah, a couple of really big individual rounds from him. Back-to-back 3Ks moving him to the top of the board in the server, which is kind of surprising, considering how many big rounds we've seen across the board for the rest of the team, but these ones just as important. Of course, the other problem as well is you'd normally be talking about the damage, but they kept the 2 rifles, and with the lead that they have, it seems like NRG are more than happy to gamble this one a little bit. A win here, the map is over. Don't feel like Leviathan have it in them to turn the tide. And the thing that's a worry for me is the fact that Sato has been so quiet. He has been phenomenal all the way through the tournament so far. And they'll really need him on the next map as well.
Well, I mean, I think it very much underlines it that Sato's on 3 kills. Kiko's got 3 kills in both of the last 2 rounds. It has been a very different performance, but you think back to Ascent and the shoe was on the other foot. Sato is lights out and Kiko is struggling. Maybe we'll get them both on Pearl. Maybe we'll see that map sooner than we would have thought. After a blowout first, it's set up to be an even more dominant map for NRG this time.
Blinding.
It's not done just yet. This is the full buy from Leviathan. It starts with King spotting them. They're in the tree, they're making space, they're fighting for that back sight. Kind of slowed a little bit by the thorns, but he's not looking to take that fight just... Oh, they've got Kiko. A big pickup by Blows. There's no pressure anymore on Leviathan. It had to be NRG to make a move, and they go walking into players, just holding their angles. Easy as can be. That's a great way back in for Leviathan.
Yeah. Normally, you'd think of this sort of flawless round as one where, okay, they're up against weaker weapons, their opponents didn't really invest too much into it. No, they rebought, they went in with the Odin, we saw them on rifles on every single player.
It's because they played three players without rifles in the previous round, right? And survived with both.
Yeah, so it's still going to leave them with a couple of pieces missing, like maybe light shields rather than the heavy shields. And even a Stinger going to be coming up for Ethan.
Planted. One enemy.
And it means that that round was probably a stronger round than what we'll see for the one coming up for NRG.
To be honest, that's something factor, especially for a young team. They win that one round. It's been quite a while since they won 2 in a row, but still on their feet. The energy's still there. Leviathan haven't given up, but neither have NRG. Coming right back in with a buy-up. Ethan, the only player with a weakness, and some big ultimates close to being online. Looking at Mada in particular, or even Ethan. Those are ults that can get you into sights. Look at Leviathan though. 4 players ready to scrap on this A main control, and NRG know now they have to leave, but they're leaving Scuba for dead. Question is, can he drop a few bodies in the meantime? Now he's a thorn in their side that they have to deal with.
It's funny because they were just about to start rotating away and now they have to hesitate a little bit. King really needs to do a serious amount of damage on this backside, otherwise the site is gone completely. And he doesn't really have any teammates nearby. Finally, Sato has been able to deal with Scuba in the backline, and that's a huge kill for Spikezine. Before they were going into a level playing field with a post plant, now they have an advantage.
A post plant where NRG would have had that showstopper. The plant would have gotten it for Mada, and instead the death did. But a nice return by Ethan, and they look to fight. Brooks got them both. 11 rounds for NRG. And at this point, Leviathan, yeah, look, they're trailing. They've only found a flash in the pan round here or there. Honestly, it feels like a map that they never got started on. It's not inspiring confidence for what comes next on Pearl. As we said, the veto as we go deeper, it takes a turn for the worse for Leviathan, and you're seeing that here and now.
The one saving grace is that they did have a flawless round in the last, so they do have rifles across the board. Sato immediately claiming that orb, but going in with a showstopper and 2 ultimates, 1 away. In fact, one of them almost definitely about to come online. Especially going in with a
Face your fear!
Nightfall. It's going to make things so difficult to defend that C site. In fact, I don't even think they're going to bother trying. Just sat back in the corner. King trying to dance with death, and well, he's meted it with open arms.
Scuba late push through B as well. Now that King's utility's down, they don't know about it, but it's space that they've given up. Leviathan are all in the spawn. It's not the usual retake that you'll see. It starts with a paranoia and a sky flash, but 2 players not caught by it. And they decimate everyone that steps near the site. Spike seen all that's left. 17 HP, that nade might have got him, but Mata beat himself to the punch. 12-5 now, and it seems like Pearl is not on the horizon. It's practically already here.
I think this timeout is honestly surprising. I get it from the side of Oda that, hey, you don't call that pause. Maybe it looks a little bit silly, but instead this will be a how do we win 7 rounds in a row pause. There's not many people that managed to pull that one off. One of them will be on the analyst desk in the moment, but I'll be honest with you, I don't even think he believed that his pause would have made that much of a difference. And the Coinbase win condition, well, for Leviathan right now, I think it is prayer. There's an awful lot that needs to change if they're going to have an opportunity. Of course, Sato has been a huge talking point throughout this series, throughout this tournament so far. Unfortunately, 4-14. He has been silenced by NRG. Of course, we knew coming into this map that it was heavily favored, but with the start they had again, Neon winning them those almost 3 rounds in a row, you're like, okay, maybe they found something. Maybe they found some magic within this composition. And then NRG got their full buy, got that operator, got that Odin, and it became a very, very different game.
Yeah, it did. It became a flash in the pan, and there was only one from that point in the first half. The second, it's the same story. A 4-1 start now for NRG to their attack side. 1 out of 7 to close this out, bring us all the way to Pearl. It's going to start with very direct A play. Wasting no time. In fact, Neon has almost opened the door for them. They are right on the, in fact, they're right through. They're right through. He literally opened the door for them, and NRG more than happy to step through to a mostly open A site. Scuba, he had this flank last round. It mounted to nothing because of the position of the defenders. This time the Vice Wall is still up, but he's gonna strike before even getting near it. He's looking for more. Surely not going back in for a 3rd bite of the cherry. And instead, he'll meet up with the team. No wrap, well, actually, he'll stay behind. He'll embed outside B as the C play comes in. It's wide open, it's an easy plant. And the question is, how much can Scuba get done in that late round?
Yeah, well, it's also a question of, can they get anything done at all? He is just that constant backstab that leaves 2 players with more than a mountain to climb. I don't think whatever was said in that pause thought that it would result like this. A 2v5 to keep them in the map. The story going exactly as expected thus far. And unless the remaining 2 have a miracle, and you almost expect a blunder, it's never going to happen. A flawless round to close for NRG. 13-5, 3 maps in the series. One of them will be making it to the playoffs.
We're going all the way to Pearl to settle the score between these 2 regional rivals. It's been a blowout in the first 2, but the middle ground could be where it heats up. We'll find out after the break.
Ronaldinho, cái tên từng khiến cả thế giới bóng đá phải say mê với nụ cười rạng rỡ và những pha xử lý ma thuật trên sân cỏ. Không chỉ là một cầu thủ mà còn là biểu tượng của sự ngẫu hứng và
Mẹ thèo với quảng cáo. Gì? Sao là dơi như thế nào mới được? Là kiểu nó là xiên bẩn hay gì? Nó là xiên bẩn hay gì? Giờ tao có tới tại quán mày được đâu, nhà mày xa bố mẹ. Tao đéo thế nào nhìn ra được luôn, đấy là con kiến hả? Con kiến hả? Không, không, nếu mà nó không ai cháy thì sẽ cháy toàn bộ chứ, không thể nào có một cái đốm gì được. Nó là con kiến đúng không? Nó phóng to cũng có giới hạn mày ơi. Nhưng mà nếu mà nó cháy á, thì sẽ cháy toàn bộ, chứ không thể nào mà nó cháy một nửa vời vậy được, mà cháy có một điểm nhỏ xíu. Cái thường chỉ là con kiến thôi. Cô ở pizza có tóc, burger có kiến nên gọi cách làm việc, nên gọi là cách làm việc. Cô mai sợi cháy đừng vô trong không có khí.
Welcome back to Masters London. While Lev did make some adjustments on map 2, that did not stop NRG from closing out and bringing it the full distance. We're going to get 3 maps today. And Minnie, you called it. NRG are just really good on Lotus.
Yeah, I think it's interesting today that we're just seeing two teams who they got a ban map and then they're able to pick their opponent's weak map and their maps that they're also good at. NRG, one of the best Lotus teams in the world. I think they've been inspired quite a lot by G2, who I think are the best Lotus team in the world. And with this composition, able to defend very easily against Lev's double duelist. I think Lev at times looks like they really didn't understand the map too well and we're just trying to do that double duelist go kill kind of thing, but not good enough on Lotus.
Yeah, I think even when it switched to the other side, right, NRG just weren't letting Lev do anything on the defense. We noticed how in previous times Lev have been able to kind of push out on those extremities and take away those first picks, but just wasn't quite working out for them on this map.
Yeah, help us break it down, Minnie. Double duels on Lotus, this is something that a lot of teams have played for a while in the past, but why is this working out this way? Because Lev is such a...
I think on Lotus is required to have both the Viper and the Sentinel. Hopefully that's a Vice. And the reasons are because on that defense, that C side, it makes it really easy to hold. You have cross-map control with the Viper wall, and on that attack specifically, it means that you have more options. Instead of grouping up every single round, you have the option to lurk out on A on timings, and that is what is missing from that composition. And I think that is going to be a narrative going through this tournament, is are those double duelist teams going to be able to deal with the Viper and the Vice coming out from specifically Americas mostly?
Yeah, they'll be really interesting, especially if we move closer to playoffs. Not too far away at this point. We're about to find out if it's going to be Lev or NRG bringing it, going through to playoffs. Now, Ethan is, of course, the IGL looking absolutely delighted with how this map went.
Yeah, I think from us, like we had said coming into today and how we set up the matchup was Kiko's performance in the opening game was incredible, but that consistency of being able to keep it across series was a big question mark. But from today, I think NRG, everyone on the squad has been able to step up and live up to that kind of performance that we expect from players that went on and won champs last year.
Yeah, it's all about all of them together, performing together. I think that there were some question marks over key players like Mada and Scuba coming into this event. Their form wasn't quite as good. But Mada now being able to be off the Neon a little bit more, and Scuba looking a little bit more comfortable. If all of those things are together and their map 3 is looking good like this, then that is very good going forward.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, this is how they won a trophy after all. And Brock, this is a guy that we have our eyes on, especially as we move into map 3, Mini.
Yeah, one of my top 10 players of this event, and he has been slowly doing a little bit better here, but I think going into Pro, I want to see him be the Brock I saw in America. Because when I was watching those VODs, when I was watching it live, it was him and Kiko frying every single time.
Yeah, obviously we just saw him on the Vise there on Lotus, but I think what's exciting is we get to see him go back to that Sova. Now, we have seen him flex away onto these Vives, the Brimstones and whatnot in Americas more recently, but I think Sova quite literally is his bread and butter.
Yeah, and there was one thing I was listening to recently with Strong, their old assistant coach, saying on this map specifically, they would sit on the server and make each player learn the spam lineups on that. A site is the one on the right side. And that was one thing that Brock is really good at. That's what we're going to be seeing him do this time around. He's going to have that Odin, he's going to be sat back, bunkered up, and just make it miserable for Lev.
Oh man, he does specialize in that. And Mini, you were saying like Lev is the master of Ascent, and Americas is the master of Lotus, particularly G2. What do you think about Americas and Pro?
I think, like I highlighted earlier with the teleshare, I think the NRG have stepped up on their Pro theory. They really understand that taking the extremities early, pushing back, and then relying on Ethan's mid-rounding and the way that the team is just so composed into those late rounds, I think has been a real strength for them. So I think that going forward here, Leva looked a little bit shaky here, and I called this series as a 2-1 with NRG winning the second and third.
Yeah, on the other side, when we're thinking about Lev, we consider their Pearl performance the other day, and that was the map where the double duelist looked a little bit shaky. Weren't quite able to warm up to the stage. We just saw that map there also. Sato quieting down from that very first map, so really we need them to kind of step up.
Yeah, the big question mark for Lev was that just first map jitters, or is it that their Pro really isn't that good? That's the question for me for Lev. I think, like I said before, NRG are going to be able to deal with Lev's comp a little bit because they like that chamber, but NRG have lots of tools to deal with it, so it's going to be a bit hard for Neon to get value here, in my opinion.
Well, I would like to think it's a little bit of jitters. First map, first time on the stage, and he's absolutely been improving so much, especially Sato, ever since that first map there. So we'll have to wait and see, but perhaps in the process, Lev hasn't revealed too much either.
That is true, but they do have their play patterns. They do, you know, they have their similar tendencies they like to run. Pro is a map that they have played a lot before, and there's a lot of tape there for NRG to break down. And I think that that is going to be something they're going to be doing. Again, they got 2 drones to find out what's going on, and they're going to be exploring the map and making Lev's life a little bit miserable.
Something that you highlighted, Minnie, was those 2 drones, and obviously when we consider Neon being propped up with that operator, especially starting on the defense here on the chamber, that's something that Lev will need to consider.
Yeah, how does Lev get value with these duelists? How are they going to be pushing out if NRG are able to use drones on both sides of the map to push them back? I think the NRG have got some really good attack theory coming out right now. And it's going to be interesting to see that mind game, that battle. If they get pushed off of a space, if Lev get pushed off of space, are they going to be able to re-clear, or are they going to just sit back and not know what's happening on the map?
I really hope that they actually kind of try to confuse NRG, whether it's Spike picking up the op or the Neon. Try and condition them into a belief that there might be an op set up somewhere and then move it elsewhere on the map. Yeah, I think for Sato on this Phoenix as well, we saw how much value he was getting out of his ultimate on that very first map, and I think coming into Pearl, that needs to be the same case here.
Yeah, and I think one thing I really like from NRG as well on their attack side was a lot of those ults. They got so many power ults here. The Teo, the Way, the Vice, the Sova, even the Astra, they've got 5 ults that they can be comboing in at any moment here, and their theory with the ults is beautiful. I love watching their micro around the ults and the XX.
And Billy, Mini has shared his prediction for this map. Are you confident in your pick today?
I picked Lev. Did I pick Lev too? No, I picked NRG. Yeah, I almost like second guessed myself.
That's a no.
Yeah, I don't think I'm confident. I honestly feel like coming into this Pearl, I need to see Lev be explosive. I need to see the energy. I need to see the confidence on the stage again. I want to see those rookies really soaking up this moment in this environment to hopefully guarantee themselves a spot in the playoffs. But on the other side, NRG, they are no third seed to be looking at and being, you know, doubting. I think that they have definitely shown how great they are.
Absolutely. I mean, I believe in the intangible, the je ne sais quoi. I think Lev can do it today if they can bring bring forward all that energy that we've been seeing over the last couple of maps they've been showing us after they've shaken off these jitters. All right, well, we got two of America's finest giving us a 3-mapper. Let's find out who's going to be going to playoffs. Over to you, Mitch and Tom.
Thank you, Victoria. Now listen, the conversation on the desk here, Tom, about how it should be difficult for Neon to find value. It's what Minnie was saying up against this composition. I agree with him entirely, and that's even more worrying when you think about the fact that Leviathan, last time on the defense, struggled massively, and Neon was showing up. He was having an easier time than he should here for NRG. The attack side is where things start out after a dominant win in the previous map. They're wasting no time with taking space towards this A site. A few licks of damage done. They're not stopping there. Scuba, is he going to walk through that? No, he's backed off.
Yeah, waiting for the contact. Still, Sato with a flash. Stun available for Spike Scene. The pace has left them at least with some utility to play with, but so many angles that they need to clear. In fact, Neon is taking his time around middle. He's going to be very far away from the action, but Spike Scene already clearing one. Do they expect the second player of Scuba? He's just going to sit pretty as they now wait for those rotations, but time has been ticking for quite a while. They need to get a move on, and now he springs the trap, already clearing every angle methodically, but there go the trades. Even still, that time at this point feels like it's too...
Ok, xong mình xin lỗi nha, hiện tại chúng mình sẽ edit stream chúng mình hơi mệt rồi. Chứ giờ mất ngồi coi tí chúng mình chết mất. Ngoài ra Master trận này không hay, là riêng trận này nha, mình sẽ không thấy hay bởi vì do nó bị dính cái của thằng... Mình có thể đoán được kết quả nhưng mà mình nghĩ trận này là lép thắng. Nên là... thôi. Khả năng mình đoán là lép thắng, là bet on it. Energy thắng tốt. Mình bet on energy nhưng mà mình cũng muốn lấy thắng trong, nhưng mà energy thắng thì mình vũ động, bởi vì trận sau lép cũng gặp Trung Quốc thì coi đi lại như là Vital không thể thua, chắc vậy. Rồi thua được thì tài thôi. Tôi sẽ end stream nha, ba cái nhà nhiều, chúng mình quá mệt rồi.